Hello?
It's the Dale Wheatley. It's not the Dale Wheatley show.
Yeah, it's not exactly. See?
It's not the Dale Wheatley show.
Thank you. There you go.
It's not. Even though it is. It kind of is.
It's not. What's up, Delicate? It's good to see you. I hope you're well.
It's good to see everybody. Let me just navigate to where we're supposed to be. I can't believe what a bonkers week it was.
Yeah.
On Monday, we do Mondays and Thursdays.
Yes.
On Monday, I was like, oh, well, let's just push that story that we were going to talk about until Thursday. Because, slow news week, whatever, it's going to be boring. It the fuck was not.
It was a busy 2 days.
I know. It was nuts. So, do you want to talk about anything before we talk about Perez Hilton?
No, let's start with that. And we'll, if we run out of things, I'll go to my science stories that I love so dearly.
I feel a little uncomfortable. I feel like, I don't know, guys.
Delicate says, I don't know how I feel about Perez. Sorry he is struggling, but he is also an awful person. Well, first of all, he's been putting his mental health on display for as long as I've ever known him to be. Yes. Perez Hilton. He has never been hinged, in my opinion, or
to get unhinged.
Yeah, like there was nothing. He was never hinged. So it's like he's always kind of trying to level up, and I'm not going to discount his in any way, his struggle, especially with whatever his mental health struggle, but. I'm also not going to discount the fact that this is kind of the show that he's been putting on and using as a means to make a living for literal decades. And he's just like pulling all the tricks, his longevity seems to be sort of tethered to this.
Specifically, you're talking about exploiting and bullying people.
Exploiting, bullying people, being wildly controversial and unhinged. Like he says things that are unhinged. He behaves in ways which are unhinged. Like this has been going on for
his brand, yeah.
Yeah, it's been his brand the whole time.
It also can't be denied that he is uniquely bears a large part of responsibility for creating the toxic online culture that we're all complaining about now.
Yes.
Like he was really one of like the early craftspeople of this, like, we can bully celebrities. It doesn't matter who they are.
Right.
We can just be mean girls constantly.
Right.
I didn't even know how far he had gone with some of this. Like I knew that he was like bullying young celebrities about their weight, which is garbage behavior. But
right.
I didn't know until somebody shared. He had actually, when Heath Ledger died, he actually sold merch about it.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen this before?
No.
He sold Perez Hilton, the artist formerly known as Mario Lavanderas, by the way. He sold merch that was Heath Ledger's picture from Brokeback Mountain, where he's got that like $1 million smile, in a heart. And then underneath it in text, it said, "It should have been Britney."
What?
This is the person we're talking about that like, his family is like, yeah, we appreciate your, calls, they're calling for privacy. They want everybody to be compassionate.
Well, thanks for the
privacy. They want everybody to
well
wish him. I can't well wish a man like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You live by the sword, you fucking die by the sword too, buddy. I'm okay. Label me a horrible person, but I can't feel bad for somebody that's been brutally victimizing. Whatever.
Hey, listen.
He's like made the culture toxic.
I can understand why you're saying you don't feel bad. I know you don't feel good, but so it's not like your experience. It's like it's indifference, and I get that. Like
I can see that you're trying to whitewash what I said, and that's fair because I recognize that I sound harsh, but I also have a bit of a conspiracy theory about this whole breakdown that he had.
Right.
I'm not really sure that it's what we saw was actually what was happening. And I know it might sound crazy, but hear me out.
And Nessa is here, by the way, and Dee is here before you continue.
That's great.
Delicate, of course. What's up? You know who we haven't seen back yet is Bobo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have to write her.
Yeah.
I have to write her a poem.
We miss you.
I have to find something that rhymes with Bobo.
Hope you're doing okay. Send like a a grocery store card. I'm thinking of you.
Yo.
Listen.
Yes.
Have you noticed that we've been covering the Justin Baldoni Blake Lively case, Melissa Nathan and Brian Friedman, who were helping Baldoni create a smear campaign. They have their own like little online mouthpieces, and they have like a little posse.
They do.
So it's Zach Peter, it's Perez Hilton, and it's Andy Signor.
Yeah.
And I noticed that Andy Signor and Zach Peter are doing wall-to-wall coverage of the Perez Hilton catastrophe.
It's so funny because, like, wall to wall, he had a breakdown on the internet.
But nobody's covering it more than them.
Yeah.
And it made me think, like, is this a coordinated thing? Or are they just bros and so they get special access? I don't understand what is happening. But I know that Perez Hilton posted a video prior to him having his, like, big blood fest. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound insensitive because I just genuinely don't know what he did and what is going on. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm calling it a blood fest because how else do you describe it? Okay, listen. He posted a video, and in the video he was really weepy. The video before he like lost his shit and everybody's appalled and he had to get banned. Okay, he posted a regular video where he was talking about he was very thankful because he had been gifted a new Bible that he had been reading through, and he was talking about how moved he was and how he's forgiven himself and he understands that people hate him, but that he feels like he's on this redemption arc.
Crying but not crying.
But he was so weepy the entire time, and he was wiping his cheeks. He literally didn't have any tears.
He had no tears.
I don't know what this guy is about, but I feel like it's either a personality disorder or the whole thing's an act, because nothing he is doing seems like how a normal person would behave when they're distressed or sad or moved emotionally or any of that. It's just like, I don't get what he's about.
I think there's undeniably something of a disorder happening.
But then people said that he was on TikTok, live streamed himself covered in blood, and he was doing self-harm.
Yes.
And of course, I'm a fucking sicko, so I went looking for the video.
You watched all the videos.
I want to know.
You watched the Astrologer destroy his career.
I want to know what's going on in the world, okay? So I'd like to form my own opinions, and so I have to subject myself to awful things if I want an opinion about an awful thing. Well, so I saw the video. Again, like, I fully recognize I'm a sicko. But I saw the video, and Perez Hilton is covered in blood, and he's like, he doesn't seem crazed. I mean, other than that, I mean, obviously, but it looked like he was wearing, like, he'd dressed up for a costume, and he was just as, like, normal sounding. He has two guys who join his stream, and they both are, like, really sedated.
It was really funny.
It was so strange.
It was kind of funny. Like, this is kind of a comedy because
they don't really know what to do, but they're also don't seem very distressed about it. So I don't know if these guys are, like, high on pills or but they were like, don't do it, bro.
They're like,
whatever.
Perez, don't do it.
What's going on, bro? What are you
doing? Don't do it, bro.
So strange. But then Perez Hilton gets up off of his bed and he goes and he sets his phone down because he's doing a fucking performance, right? And he takes what everybody has been describing as a knife, and he starts gliding it across his body.
Yeah.
And he's doing this with the knife, and he's doing this across his chest. You could see him from the waist up. Okay. People said that you could see him. He's fully nude. I don't know, but maybe the one that I saw was like cropped, but I saw him from the waist up. But it didn't look like a knife to me. It looked like one of those, those like long spatulas that you use when you do cake decorating.
Yes.
And you want to make your frosting really nice.
Yeah, they're kind of like,
it's like a long.
They widen at the end.
No.
A little bit?
No, it's just like, it looks like if it was a knife, it would be like a serrated blade that you cut, like a bread knife.
Oh, okay.
But it looked like he was just using this like.
But they're dull. They're spreaders.
They're spreaders. Exactly. It's not a knife at all. There's no sharp edge. It looked like he was using one of those, and instead of running it like the sharp edge against, he was running the flat edge along his body. It was the weirdest. So I was like, okay, well, he's obviously. I'm not so alarmed.
Well, when you pulled it out, I remember you gasped.
Yes, because I didn't know what he was gonna do.
Right.
And it didn't seem like he was really doing. I don't know. When he started out on that stream and he was covered in blood, I was like, obviously something fucking happened. But you can't see him actually bleeding. I don't know, dude. I just can't trust these fucking. He's so weird on the internet, and he does these strange fucking stunts. Like
Deanne thinks he's definitely bipolar disorder or something like that. Oh, really?
I don't know what it is, man. But I don't believe that what we saw or what everybody's claiming that we saw is what is as bad as it was. And obviously, he's got a fucking screw loose. So I'm so glad that people are convening around him and helping him get through whatever. Like, if he needs to be medicated or something, good for him. Like, I hope he gets the help he needs. But
yeah. Little Black Cat, she said that she's a psychiatric nurse.
Oh,
and patients have psychotic events, I suppose, after sepsis.
I read this too, that it could be like a side effect.
So he may have sepsis, and he just
Well,
went, woo-hoo.
you know, when you get like infection in your bloodstream, obviously it'll affect your brain. I don't know, man. He's just so strange, and I don't know whether it was like a big gimmick or something, which would be awful. But look at how the video that he posted before this big strange behavior, where he's covered in blood, horrific. The video he posted before, he was really trying to solicit sympathy. And then he posts this thing where now all of a sudden he's got everybody's sympathy. And people who are saying he's actually an asshole and he doesn't deserve sympathy are being shamed on the internet.
Yeah.
I just feel like the ends kind of make it seem like he may have intended. And I don't know, maybe that's true if he did actually have a real psychotic break and he self-harmed too. Like that, both things can be true. I just have no idea what's going on, and he's so weird.
Deanne's filling in for our lack of eloquence, I suppose. She's saying her concern is that Perez has no empathy or remorse.
I believe he has empathy and remorse for himself.
The video you were talking about earlier, the one where he was spouting off about the Bible, holding some version, somebody's interpretation of the Bible.
Did you notice his voice was really weepy the whole time?
Yeah, of course. And I saw him like try to wipe away tears that weren't there.
It was such an act the whole time. I was like, that's
literally
not normal.
wiping away tears that weren't there.
Yeah.
He was going like this, and there was nothing there. I mean, we're all seeing what he's doing.
Yeah, it was a close video on himself.
But anyway, where was I going with that? Darn it.
Oh, what you were saying about, what was the last thing that you read?
I don't know. I got derailed. Let's go back to Deanne. She knows, she has all the answers.
Yeah.
He's never shown, care or compassion either.
Oh, empathy for himself is what I said that started you. We're going to cut it in post.
Get it in post. Whatever. Hey, by the way, Cosmic Urgency joins us and says, LOL, so the big change is that you changed the name?
Yeah.
I guess he just didn't notice that I shaved my neck.
That is a big change. It's true. It took him 10 minutes.
Oh, my God. He's got some kind of disorder, in my opinion, does Perez Hilton.
Clearly.
I just think it's obvious. Yeah, and look, I mean, it's distressing to watch. I don't need his trauma. Like, I just don't need his trauma. You know, we're talking about it, obviously, but I spent, like a minute with that video, and I was like, please. And, watching him.
The first one where he's like
I don't know what this is psychiatrically or psychotically speaking, but like he's a leech. He leeches from people. He's like a succubus of their energies, and he absorbs it into himself. Like he's this, self-absorbed, narcissistic madman.
He calls himself the internet's first influencer or some
influencer, I believe is how he says it. Influencer. I heard him say that when you played the video.
Really?
Called himself the first influencer.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I didn't hear that.
He's being influential, I suppose. Influential.
I think that he is. We'll see what the new iteration is of Perez Hilton, because for sure he's not going to let us fucking forget about him. For sure he's going to be in our fucking face with some other bullshit next.
I know he's probably writing the book now, or has it, has the ghostwriter on it, or who knows? I mean, I'm probably not a book, but yeah. Look, it's just hard not to believe that there's some kind of. I mean, he was publicizing it. It was weird. What was that movie who had us watch that movie? Oh, that was that really cool kid. I think it was Aaron something. His name was Aaron. Remember Aaron?
I do.
I can't remember his whole name.
It's never Aaron.
It's never Aaron.
Was with us. And
fucking lovely dude.
He recommended one of these indie movies where it was a guy who live streamed his serial killing.
Yes.
Because he was like an Uber driver and he would just like murder people on his live stream.
Or maybe just Perez Hilton was like channeling the Ariana Grande video, and he didn't even know it. Like he was just channeling it.
Isn't that weird that we are both like all of
Wasn't
a sudden?
it on the same day? Were they the same day?
It was like a day apart, but Perez Hilton was second.
Oh, so he like watched the Ariana Grande and he was like, I want to be covered in blood.
I have an idea.
It's so dramatic and beautiful.
I'm trying to find the name of this movie. Does it have diary? No.
It's good to see you guys. While Angela looks everything up. Nessa's with us, which is so good to see.
I like Letterboxd because you get to catalog all the movies that you watch, but it's fucking difficult to navigate.
But to answer your question, Cosmic Urgency, by the way, yeah, no, we didn't change shit. We just changed the name. The name was a little bit of a thing for me. And also, we're releasing on like Apple and all those guys now. And so we're kind of trying to expand the footprint. We all like just the whole model is changed in terms of what I'm going to do with what we're doing. And I don't even know what I'm doing, dude. I don't even know what I'm doing, which is so obvious.
It's a fucking lost cause.
And I get to blame the algorithm for my low numbers, which is very exciting. It's always good.
That's handy.
It's like good news, It's like it's gonna, it's like it's like whatever natural causes. My low numbers are because of natural causes.
Little Black Cat says that a lot of mentally ill people are religious fanatics. About Perez Hilton.
Well, it's interesting because he just became one. I mean, he has never not been.
I know.
This or close to this, right? Like, Perez Hilton has always been.
When in the beginning, when he got out of the hospital, and he said that he, basically was born again, right? He said that he was raised in the church when he was a kid, but then he left, and now he's back.
Hallelujah.
And so I just feel like it's really common for people who have distortions and delusions to apply those distortions and delusions into religion and to wear that like as like a costume because it just fits. I'm not saying that everybody who's religious is distorted or deluded, but
of course.
But there's
this is what's annoying actually for them, just to kind of, I was just thinking this way, because like you have these fucking people who just take this religion, whether it's, organizationally, like some of the cult, sort of spin-offs and, the way in which the, who is it that the Mormons, the way they, some of the stuff that they did with that guy who's in jail now.
Yeah.
The Latter-day Saints or whatever they're called, Latter-day Saints. And how because I truly believe that, that we can have spiritual goals and attain them through some of these things, including, I think, religion. 100%. I think that if you become a devout person who wants to, find the core of the truth and the prayer inside of it, you can do that. And just through the act of it, you will eventually make this deep and profound connection. And it'll all like sort of, like light up everything you've been teaching yourself along the way.
This is totally valid. Everything that you're saying is totally true. But what I think you're missing is that the unique appeal of religion to these specific people who are wrongdoers. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but fucking Russell Brand gets accused of all these sexual.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
And he falls into to organized religion, right?
Dude, I probably the biggest churches in America are the prisons.
Fucking Conor McGregor too. Now he's a fucking Jesus freak, right? And like, so the same thing that appeals to those people is what's appealing to Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton woke up in the hospital super fucked up, and he is like, oh my God, I'm gonna die and everybody's gonna fucking hate me. I need to be redeemed, right? Russell Brand is like, I need some sort of public redemption arc. Conor McGregor is like, I don't really have a career, but what I can do is be like this tough guy asshole who gets redeemed through religion, and then that's another track that I can follow. It's this redemption thing that appeals to these people about the religion. That's exactly why Perez Hilton is like found, whether it's legitimate or just an act, he's found his way into his old religion because he either publicly, it's like it's as if it's like a gimmick, or genuinely inside himself feels like he deserves redemption, wants to seek redemption. And this religion is a nice way for him to pursue that.
Yeah.
But I think that's why he ends up all weepy. And every single time he talks about the Bible, he talks about how people hate him, but he has forgiven himself. I've heard this for months from him. I don't follow him all the time. I've seen him like 3 times, but it's been like months between each time I've seen him. And he's saying the same shit, right? He's a broken record about this one thing.
Yeah.
He is seeking redemption, whether he genuinely is or whether it's just an act. He's like trying to fit in this market. I think Russell Brand doesn't believe this shit either. He's just like, okay, this is like a business track I can follow.
Oh, of course. No. I don't know how true it is, but apparently Justin Baldoni is making a Christian film. And
yes, this is it.
If
this
it's
is
true, it's what we said was going to happen.
Yes.
Whatever it was, however long ago, because they created a whole new market for themselves that they're going to just live off of and they're gonna, enjoy their lives in their mansions in
This
Tennessee.
is exactly it. It's not a fucking coincidence that the last thing that Brian Friedman said about Justin Baldoni was that he is going to fight for the falsely accused. And who is the most famous falsely accused person?
That would be Jesus Christ, in my humble opinion.
Exactly. So what are they doing is they're making a movie that is a faith-based movie about a guy who is falsely accused on I guess he's in prison for causing a flood. It's like so fucking on the nose. It's so made for faith-based.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what his production company is doing next. Evidently, I mean, I've only seen this on the internet, but he's probably not going to have his name on it.
Well,
but when he does reemerge with his like redemption arc fully packaged,
yeah,
for sure it's going to be in that bow. You know what I mean?
Right.
In the religious bow. Because this is the only way that society has actually made people given people to redeem themselves. It's through this church. And if I was a very religious person, if I belonged to the churches that these fucking like these accused horrible men have decided to align themselves with, I'd be so fucking offended for being, having my faith used as a fucking tool for their like, unjustified redemption. This just sucks. Anyway, I'm skeptical about Perez Hilton and everything he fucking does, and I just noticed that his friends who are also fucking in Melissa Nathan's bag are covering his story,
yeah,
and soliciting the fucking sympathy for him. I'm just super jaded about the whole thing. I don't believe it. I saw the video of him covered in blood, and I was like, but is he really cutting himself? Is this really self-harm, or is this just a fucking act? I was like, did he just like smear ketchup on himself? Like, is that what we're doing? The police apparently showed up at his house, and then they made a public press release, like as it was happening, saying that they didn't actually see any real threats, so they were backing off. Like, were they tipped off like they tip off TMZ? Do you know?
It's it's easy to suspect. It would be very interesting to find out if everyone's just being played. Honestly, I don't really care about like the story itself, or him. I know we're talking about it because it's something to talk about, and that's cool. I'm cool with that. But as far as caring, I just don't care for this individual because I just find this guy to be just like one of the worst parts of the world we live in.
He said it should have been Britney. Like, fuck you, bro. What kind of like moral depravity do you have to fucking own in order to say something like that and have it printed on a shirt to sell? I just don't understand.
Yeah, well,
we're not from the same country, me and him. You know what I mean? It's like, I just don't get it.
I mean, he's unwell, and this is the thing is like, not only do I not care about him, but I also recognize him as somebody who is unwell. And he's unwell and he's exploiting himself in the media. He's found a way to do that and profit from it. It allowed him to escape the things he hated the most, probably things like, delivery or doing the dishes or being an accountant or an assistant to something or somebody, like he wanted to avoid any kind of common life, and he chose this life.
Perez Hilton?
Yes, that completely destroyed his own brain.
He chose to just be a mean girl on the internet,
which turned out to be destructive. It's interesting because like you can apply it, you can apply it existentially to the whole idea of like you hurt, if you hurt someone else, you're hurting yourself in the process.
Yeah,
and you can almost like see that being played out. It's not karma. This isn't karma. This is, I think I heard him say something about karma. This has nothing to do with karma. This has to do with, as you harm others, you harm yourself. And that's why I was saying earlier that I think you can get to wherever you want to go spiritually with a book like the Bible or with Buddhism or whatever it is, if the path is, towards something as profoundly true as if I hurt you, I hurt me in the process. Mm-hmm. And I think Perez Hilton's life and his bloody, macabre show that he put on the other day is pure evidence of that manifest before our very eyes in a super psychotic event, which, it is no matter what, even if it's staged as it's psychotic. And if he has a bunch of people engaging in this behavior with him, then, that's where I say karma might, come into play eventually.
If he really was distressed enough to have like a mental illness episode, right? I'm not sure how to explain these things tactfully, but It seems like his main problem is that he understands that he's hated. And like you're saying, this is something that this is a situation he's created for himself.
Yeah.
And that must be really tormenting. Like if you fully understand that you have created an environment in which everybody hates you and you are the only person responsible for that situation.
Yeah.
It's got to be really heavy.
Hey, look, it's Andy Signor in a different way. Andy Signor got bought by a publicist,
Yeah.
became their horn. They pumped his videos, and he became this channel that of note. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's decent at what he does. I'm not discounting that he has talent for it, but I am saying that he put himself in a corner and now he has to deliver what they want. And maybe that trade is good for him. Like, you know, he's cashing the checks. That's a big channel, you know? So he's cashing the checks, and I'm sure he's doing so gleefully. But, you know, in the end, you know, he is, you know, in somebody's pocket. So it's I think you have a situation with Perez Hilton where he just found an opportunity to do something. You know, it's a weird thing. Like I guess where I'm going with that is like, sometimes, you know, you have this grand idea for yourself. You know, you're going to be this, you're going to do that, you're going to achieve whatever. And then as you're on that path with all that passion and certainty and courage, as you're on that path, you get presented along the way with these things. And these things come and they look like opportunities that'll bring you one or more of the things you desire most on this path that you're on. But they can be the kinds of events that completely take you to a different like sphere of a life that you couldn't have imagined. You know, the old my life didn't turn out the way that I thought it was going to turn out. Mm-hmm. You know, like, oh, nothing turned out the way I was going to be. I'm kind of a perfect example of that in my own way.
Deanne said, regardless of whether Perez Hilton's video was staged or not, he is unwell. He tried to suicide by cop. He said he was going to try to suicide.
That's right.
I don't believe that he ever did.
He might have had beers and burgers waiting for them
to confront police.
Yeah,
with a knife.
Who knows? I'll say this: like, I agree with you anyway. Even like I agree with you, Deanne. Like this was all, you know. So anyway, listen.
Delicate said he is attention seeking, and that happens a lot with psych emergency patients.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all very interesting. I don't know what happened, man. I just think that it's really awful that he is involving all of us in his voyeuristic escapades.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you should broadcast yourself in a super distressing situation.
Yeah.
You know, he wants everybody involved. And that I just feel like is so fucking selfish. I don't know, man. Like, I wasn't traumatized by what I saw because I'm a sicko. But there's a lot of people who stumbled upon Perez Hilton's live stream of him covered in blood that were really, really disturbed by it.
For sure.
And fucking kids could have seen that shit
too. Yeah, nobody's expecting any of that. Yeah. And what was the explanation from TikTok? Because I got flagged and shut down for like 3 days.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Because I was covering the Karen Reed trial, and apparently something I said on it was explicit, and that it got flagged for hate speech.
TikTok is just saying that it's a flawed system that they have. That obviously it slipped through the cracks. But there's been a lot of violent episodes that have been live streamed on TikTok throughout, you know, TikTok's entire history,
yeah,
you know, internationally and in the United States. And it's just like, they have a big problem with this.
I feel like there's like millions of TikTokers who said, you know, who said after this, like, the fuck, dude? Cause like they got flagged for like,
yeah,
you know, they didn't turn the label away or something.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Whatever.
Yes. What's up?
Deanne saying a lot of content creators will crash and mentally crash when the payday ends. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's true. I mean, yeah, it's true. Listen, if we were on some kind of high ride right now and they're like the cash was flowing, of course you never want that to end. But yeah, if you don't come from, like, for example, like if the show ever did well, I would understand it that it's fragile and finite. Do you know what I mean?
You would live stream yourself covered in blood?
Well, for sure.
Obviously, if it gets the clicks. That's what matters, right, folks?
I mean, it's the guy's on, he's getting coverage everywhere. No, but seriously, like, because I understand, or not because I understand anything, but, I've been around these kinds of cycles, right? These short entertainment cycles where it's like you have something that lasts a few years and then it doesn't go anymore. Like nothing is forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Did you hear about the guy who like caught monster freshwater fish for his YouTube channel or whatever? And then he got like a TV show and he was like this big fucking thing. And his show ended because he caught all of the biggest fish in all of the different rivers all over the world. There's no more fish to catch known to science. So he's caught them all.
That's horrific.
And he didn't kill them.
He
just punched them in the face and then put them back in the water.
He caught them and then released them, but did he ever catch them again?
Well, I don't know. That's hey, listen, I've been fishing in the Red River as a kid, and I've pulled bass in particular because, anyway, 5 like hook lines.
Yeah, they're
5 hook holes.
They have piercings.
These fuckers, like, I'm serious. I'm like calling them stupid and throwing them back.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Catch and release is actually super harmful for the fish. They get infections and they die sometimes and shit.
Well,
It's, like, really
let's not get into the
traumatic for them.
controversy. Look at you. Like,
No,
let's
but-
clean up the earth every
No,
chance
but that's
we
really
can.
funny that he's like so you're saying this guy he shopped all of the rivers of all of the big fish.
Yeah.
And then he collected them all.
Yeah.
He was like
His show literally ended because he caught all the fish.
he was like your character on what's that fucking video game?
I don't know.
Where you have to catch all the fish and catalog them for the museum.
Oh, Animal Crossing?
Yes, he was like a character in Animal Crossing where he's like, oh shit, I caught them all. Now I don't have anything else to bring to the museum.
Who played Animal Crossing
What's
during
the
the
name of-
pandemic? Put your hands up.
What's the name of the owl that you have to give all your fish to?
Gunther? No. I don't remember. He's the owl. But I remember going to him. I remember what he looks like. He looks like an owl. In case you were wondering.
Shit, now I have to look this up. This is so stupid.
Deanne's in the hospital waiting on an MRI. Oh man. I hope you're all right.
Blathers.
Blathers. It was Blathers. Just take care of yourself, Deanne. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. I hope the MRI turns out okay. Have you ever had an MRI? Is that the scary machine?
No, isn't that the one where you're like,
Is that what it's like?
no, it's much worse.
I remember, was it an MRI that Reagan had to get into in The Exorcist, where they had to check her brain to see if she had a tumor?
Yeah, I think that was an MRI.
Yeah, that is
Isn't it the MRI that you can't like go in there with metal? Like somebody's like, they told me not to bring in the metal, but it snuck in my
Yeah.
phone, then it like goes through their whole body.
Yes, it is because it's a magnetic resonance machine. Resonance. I don't know.
So
what the
I can't get them because I have metal feelings. What does that mean?
They
Nope.
just like suck them
It's
straight
like-
out, straight through your cheek. Yeah, like a bullet through
Fucking
your
horror.
cheek.
Do you bring anything in metal? No, not today. My whole like half my face just gets torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
I don't know. What do they do with people with fillings? Maybe it's not magnetic. Maybe they specifically use fillings material that won't get MRI'd. Oh, dude, that guy got MRI'd.
You got MRI.
It was a mess. They had to call the ambulance, but they were at the hospital, so it was fine.
Happiness is here. Happiness in. your
Deanne said fillings are
love.
okay. See, they thought of everything.
So, by the way, another change, cosmic urgency, is that, because it's not the Dale Wheatley show, because it's not the Dale Wheatley show, and it's just an argument that we have about that. It allows us to talk about anything. Like we talked about Bigfoot the other day and just totally felt like it was totally within,
You can't
like-
talk about Bigfoot on a show called Too Real.
No.
Because people are skeptical about Bigfoot. Even though Bigfoot is real
Yeah.
and there's evidence.
Well, I mean, there's some video evidence that is very compelling. And I'm not
Yes.
even talking about the Patterson tapes, which I understand will be debunked or have been debunked or has been debunked in this new documentary, which I've yet to see and I'm eager to see. Okay. Do you want to move on to another story?
Yes.
So, dude, there's this astrologer whose name is Stephen Forrest. I have read and I own several of his books.
Yes.
And his first book is one I would constantly recommend to people who were just deciding to learn a little bit about astrology. I loved that book. Thought it was so well written, and I'm not even into his sort of whatever they call it, whether it's subgenre or
The
whatever.
book you're talking about is titled Inner Sky.
Inner Sky.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I thought it was a brilliant book. I thought it was just extremely well written. Everything was laid out in a way that felt comfortable and I understood, and so on and so forth. And
It's like an introduction to astrology book, but his writing style is really conversational and very engaging, and so it's really easy to get through and get the concepts.
extremely well edited, I will say, because
Yeah.
he left the public. Or his next book wasn't published through the same company, and instead he was self-published at that point. And even though the writing was still fine, it had declined it just didn't have the pristine sort of editing. I kind of wonder what it would be like if I got edited by somebody, not, this is no offense to you, but I'm talking like somebody who went in and did who's done 100 novels, or whatever,
Are you saying you want to see other people?
No. Are you saying you want to open up your writing career, Del? You want to open up your writing career? We're watching that couple's therapy show on Showtime.
It's so good.
And every other couple is like, so we're going to open up the marriage then.
I'm like, no wonder you're in couples
Everyone wants
therapy.
us to open up the marriage. It's like, no, you can't just fucking...
You went and created a problem. Now you got to go to couples therapy for it.
This astrologer,
Okay.
his name is Stephen Forrest.
Stephen Forrest went on a podcast episode. Apparently he's in business with this other former NFL athlete. What's his name? Ricky Williams.
So yeah, Ricky Williams.
Who is now an astrologer.
Right.
So now they've teamed up. They have a business together.
They do.
They go and they do talks. One of the things that they like to talk about with people, they hold these workshops or whatever, these retreats that they host. It's like a big thing for astrology retreats where you go and fucking have a vacation, eat some snacks, and learn about astrology.
I
whatever.
love snacks.
But they were talking about the topic of shadow work, which I don't know if you know this, but
I don't even know what that is. I mean, it obviously, it seems obvious.
I will tell you that I find this topic extremely annoying because I have just a general basis of understanding of what shadow work was, what it means in psychology.
Yeah.
Because it was sort of invented. The concept of the shadow was sort of popularized by Carl Jung. Okay. And what
Yes.
the shadow is supposed to be is that you have this, so Carl Jung was he was buddies with Freud. Okay.
Yes.
And Freud has your psyche is basically divided into parts. There's the outer part, there's the inner part, and then there's a part that you're kind of not really fully aware of.
Right.
So Freud had the ego, the id, and the whatever, I can't remember. And then but Carl Jung sort of he sort of switched it a little bit to clarify it and make it more archetypal. Okay? There's that we as human beings, Carl Jung says, is that we as human beings where we really resonate with images and symbols, and there's certain archetypal meaning that has significance to each one of us, and it comes from the development of our childhood and all of our life experiences, and it sort of builds layers of an onion, on top of one thing on top of another until you have this outer expression of your outer self, and then you have this inner self that you fully understand and are aware of and can pull from. So your strengths are understood and your challenges are understood. But then there's this subterranean hidden other part that you don't necessarily have access to, but these things will bubble up to the surface and make themselves known, not necessarily consciously, but they will enact in your life. Those things, the things you don't necessarily have full awareness of, those are called your shadow. And Carl Jung believed that unless a person turns inward to confront their shadow aspects, that they cannot fully develop self-individuation, where you become the fullest, most complete version of yourself. Right?
Okay.
You will not be self-actualized as the best, most complete and expressive version of who you are, your nature, your spirit, your soul, unless you have fully confronted and brought into conscious awareness these unconscious things that are meddling around in your subconscious, okay? So the shadow, that's what he calls those things, right? Okay. And this is what a lot of New Age people have been using this to just apply to anything that people don't like about themselves. I'm sure, it's just it's over-applied, it's oversimplified. And it's kind of annoying because
Sam David said, shadow work literally means that you explore, own, and embrace your dark side. That's it.
yes, but this is like the oversimplification. Carl Jung made it very clear that your shadow can also be your shadow could be positive attributes of yourself too. Dark doesn't mean bad. And everybody seems to think that dark means bad. Like we all have a dark side. And I think people are really enamored by this concept of doing shadow work in this really thin, very narrow expression of it, because what it means is it allows people to fully admit and like own and be expressive about their bad parts of their personality. But that's not what it's for. Like you could have a shadow side where like your shadow is that you want affection more than you're willing to admit. That wouldn't be bad. That would just be something that you're not really fully expressive of. And you end up provoking that in other people, or you start like projecting it onto your relationships, and the person you're in a relationship with is like, what is this that you're projecting onto me? I don't understand this, because it's coming from within you. That's your shadow side that you're not fully confronting. But it could just be like a need for comfort that you're not fully aware of.
Okay.
Shadow side doesn't necessarily mean bad. It doesn't necessarily mean like dark in the way that
It probably means bad though, right?
I mean, people tend to embrace the good sides of themselves and ignore or bury the bad parts. But if you
were like ignoring and burying the good parts, then the result would be bad.
Yes.
Right?
Maybe. I don't know.
If you take the good, it wouldn't be bad. If you make a cake without the sugar,
it wouldn't be bad. It would just be ineffective.
A cake with no sugar and icing.
But if you know about your bad side, that's not your shadow.
Right.
Because it's subliminal, subconscious. These are processes that are happening underneath your level of consciousness. Like this is how it's supposed to be. It's difficult. You need guidance to do this kind of work. This is something that psychotherapists have been trained for years to do in like clinical practice. Like this isn't something...
I'm kind of intimidated by it.
Yeah, you should. It's intimidating.
What's it called? What's it called?
It's called shadow work. But
shadow work.
I'm telling you that everybody has just been using this term to just like apply to anything. They invite people on these retreats. They say, we're going to do shadow work, where basically they just like have a bunch of people do talk therapy and confess like they're, that like they're a hidden pervert or whatever. And then they're like, congratulations, you're done. You've like confronted your shadow. Like, no, you haven't.
In Carl Jung's analytical psychology, the shadow is the unconscious hidden part of the human personality that the conscious ego rejects, hides, or represses. Shadow integration is a lifelong process of bringing these unacknowledged traits, both destructive impulsives and untapped positive potential,
like it's literally not something you can do
into conscious awareness to achieve psychological wholeness. So you're right. I mean, it's
not something
you definitely took the long road, but you're right.
It's not something you can do at a fucking retreat with your astrologer. Like
lifelong. I believe they called it right here. Shadow integration is the lifelong. It's always a lifelong process, dude.
Yes, this is the process. Dude,
I thought I worked my shit out so long ago.
It'll keep coming up. Oh. And what it does. So if you sort of like can imagine that following you around all the time is a little pond.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a little pond that they carry around with them.
Yeah.
And in the pond is very reflective. You can't see inside, but all that shit is fucking underneath that water.
Sure.
But it'll come bubbling up sometimes.
It's kind of perfect that you use water as an analogy there.
Yeah, well, Carl Jung does too. It's like
Carl does it.
That's the fucking fountainhead, right? This is like where all of these images and symbols come up into our conscious awareness. They're all kind of like subterranean. They're like under the surface. You can't see them. Like that's why you have to have professional trained help to like bring them out. A lot of people will sort of like try and speed run this shit by doing psychedelic therapy. Like they'll do like a hero dose of hallucinogens or something and try and like all of a sudden just like that's like you got your pond, but then you put on those like what are those glasses where you don't see the reflection? What's it called?
Oh yeah, polar lenses.
Yeah,
what they're called?
Yeah, the polarized lenses, and then you're like, oh shit, there's a bunch of shit under there.
Yeah, oh shit, fish.
Yeah, that's what the psychedelic therapy is supposed to do, but it doesn't actually help you like purge the toxins. Whatever. Anyway, it bugs me so much when these new age, like, these people just think that they can apply these like very deep, very rich, very restorative, very healing processes into like a fucking podcast episode or a fucking like weekend retreat. Like, guys, it's like not that easy. What they're doing is it's called spiritual bypassing. And it's so common. It's super annoying that everybody is just like jumping right on board without recognizing That you can't do spiritual bypassing where you like put a label on a process, you cry with a group of your friends at an astrology fucking retreat or something, and then you consider yourself healed. Like, that's bypassing. You're not doing the hard work. It's deep, inner, painful, like exercising the demon type work that people have to do.
Do you want to hear something funny?
What?
We were talking about Stephen Forrest.
Yes, I know. And I wanted
we did
this wasn't a mistake. I wanted to make sure that we laid the groundwork because Stephen Forrest and his friend Ricky Williams, not Ricky Stevens. Did I interrupt you?
Go ahead.
They were doing a podcast episode about shadow work. And in this podcast episode, about an hour in, so here they are, the two men, they're talking about what they think is shadow work. They're not actually talking about shadow work the entire time. I listened to the podcast episode. It has since been deleted because it was so harmful to Stephen Forrest's reputation that they decided to take it down off the internet. But I heard it before then because, you know, I love drama and I like to go find form my own opinions about stuff. But the whole time that they were talking about shadow work, it seems as though Stephen Forrest's actual shadow took a seat at the table, started filing its nails, right? And then before the podcast episode was done, it was like, you know what? I actually have a lot to say about this. So Stephen Forrest, unbeknownst to himself, because he never addressed it in the episode, started exposing his own shadow. This is the way that Carl Jung said that it'll happen. That when you get put into a position where you're circling the fucking drain of whatever this horrible, harmful thing is, that horrible, harmful thing will begin to consume you. And that's exactly what happened in the episode. So about an hour in, it's probably like 40 minutes or something, Stephen Forrest starts confessing to Ricky Williams, who is a black man, about all of the racist shit and all of the racist beliefs he used to have. As if it's like not a big deal.
And like, we're not talking about like, oh, you know, I misspoke or whatever. He said crazy shit like to you know, sort of, yeah, he said in sum and substance that it wasn't until he was about 30 years old that he learned that people of color were as smart as white people.
No, he said that he was only when he was 30 years old, he learned that he realized that black people were as smart as white people.
Yeah.
And he's saying this to a black man he's in business with, who apparently they have a long friendship. It was so fucking uncomfortable. I was like, okay, you're a dude from the early 60s. It's like, I understand that you had all this like cultural programming, but he literally just said it and laughed. The topic of the conversation was about the cultural shadow, about how America has to deal with racism, but he himself began offering his own racist beliefs without actually identifying or deconstructing what that meant for him and his own growth. Stephen Forrest, then he continued to talk about how he had a few really close black friends.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You know? Like, he's doing the thing. He's doing the fucking trope. Like
Sam David's saying I can say black. I know that.
No, but he wasn't saying people of color either. Like, he was just like very clearly had a problem. I don't even know where Stephen Forrest was born. Let me see. I have his birth chart.
So he says this absolutely heinous thing, right? That he wasn't until he was 30 years old that he found out that black people were as smart as white people, which is just... Oh my God.
He's from Mount Vernon, New York, too. I was like, he's not even from like fucking South Carolina or something. I don't know. Not that that would make it any better. But...
No offense, South Carolina.
Oh yeah, but like South Carolina was like the last,
Alabama
was like the last place to like join us all in the present time.
Yeah, so he starts to sort of, you know, ignite his career at that point, but that's not all.
No, that's not all. He then says that he in a discussion about how our culture has changed. Basically, he without saying like woke, he's like our culture, we've gotten very woke, right?
Yeah.
He didn't use that language because I guess he knows better somehow. But he said that he used to hold workshops in the 90s because remember, he's been a very famous astrologer for decades and decades.
Decades.
So he said that he used to hold astrology workshops in the 90s where he would dress up. He told the story. He would dress up in like he called it like a Colonel Sanders type costume. And then he would holler the N-word in his, like, I guess they would do these like role play things or whatever. And he was just describing, for some reason, out of fucking nowhere, decided to tell the story about how back then he would dress up in this costume.
Like a plantation owner.
Yeah, and then like holler the N-word, and everybody thought it was really funny. They'd all laugh. It was like a big joke. And that you just can't say those sorts of things anymore. Like literally just like they're without any context and without reconciling after the statement as like, and that's a good thing. Like he didn't say anything about how like our culture has changed and that's actually wonderful.
Yeah.
He then says, after he said that he would holler the N-word in his workshops.
Yes.
He told Ricky Williams, he was like, and that's a word that I'm sure you've heard a bunch of times. And then Stephen Forrest said the word.
He dropped the N-word.
He said the word with a hard R. He said it. He was like, looked at his friend and was like, and I'm sure that's a word you've heard a bunch of times. It was so upsetting. And the most upsetting thing was like, here's this. I don't know anything about Ricky Williams. And since then, since this whole controversy has happened, he has put out a statement with Stephen Forrest. It looks like a fucking hostage video, by the way, where he's like sitting there and trying to excuse his friend for his racist biases.
Yeah.
And all that they were doing is talking about Stephen Forrest saying the N-word, because that's all that's been publicized. And they've taken this interview down, so nobody can actually see all the rest of what he said. But Ricky Williams is being made to say that it didn't bother him and he understood the context. And everybody else online who hasn't actually seen the podcast episode says that Stephen Forrest only said the full N-word in historical context. It's like absolutely not fucking true.
Yeah.
The context.
No, there's a bunch of whitewashing going on and like revisionist work.
The context was
Stephen Forrest himself. Sorry. Stephen Forrest himself had put out a statement that was revisionist, and the worst part about his statement was, you know how you remember there was that like brief moment when like people were basically learning how to apologize for the shit they've done.
Oh yeah, and
one of like the first things you learned about being truly apologetic or being truly remorseful is that you're not going to worry about your own feelings in the matter.
No,
like that your feelings aren't the issue. Right? Like that you take up with your therapist or, deal with it alone in your bed.
Then you're just like seeking sympathy. You're not actually apologizing.
And the first fucking statement out of this dude's mouth was dealing with his feelings or putting his feelings as center stage.
I'm going to read his statement in just a minute because obviously this is blown up in his face so much. But,
his career's over. And I mean, this guy
he's got a lot of defenders online. I'm sure he can eke out whatever career he's got left, but it has very much divided.
Okay, his career has dramatically changed.
Yes.
I don't think he's not going to be an astrologer. When I say his career is over, he's going to be uninvited to almost he's not going to speak like he used. This guy was like top tier fucking S tier speaker at, around the globe. Like this guy flew all over the world.
That's true.
He was a very, one of the predominant astrologers of his time. And he was like, one of the sort of the most important guys in a sect called evolutionary astrology in particular.
Yes, it's a branch of astrology where they believe that people are reincarnated.
Yeah.
And that they choose their birth chart in their reincarnation process in order to develop some skill or complete some task or something that
some like maniacal dude
that wasn't completed in your previous life.
Give me a combust Venus in its fall. Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah. Okay, I will read his statement and I would like to talk more about what happens after this. But I want to say the last offensive thing that he said on the fucking podcast that everybody is just completely glossing over. Stephen Forrest was asked by one of the co-hosts who had the presence of mind to say, because remember, this didn't need to be published. This was pre-recorded. This wasn't live.
They decided to press fucking upload.
I know. So they knew it was going to harm people. Like I can deal with this because I'm not personally affected by racist language. But they knew that there's a bunch of black astrologers and black people who are learning astrology and people who fucking follow, other people who are like literally affected and traumatized by language like this.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like this was a fucking choice.
Yeah, this is a trigger for some.
Anyway,
for sure.
so the co-host of the podcast had the presence of mind to be like, yeah, well, these are some very difficult topics, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to feel very challenged by them. But Stephen Forrest, while we're on the topic of American racism, I thought I would ask you, did somebody said that you were actually a descendant of Nathan Bedford Forrest, same last name, 2 R's, right?
Yes.
And Stephen Forrest is like, yes. My mother's father told me, right? His grandparents told him that he was descended from Nathan Bedford Forrest, whether we know it's true or not.
Who was the founder of the Ku Klux Klan?
Who was one of the founders of the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying that wrong anyway. It's just, okay. So Stephen Forrest didn't stop there. He said, obviously, I'm not gonna defend the Ku Klux Klan.
Right, so he condemned.
He's like, obviously, we know this guy's a bad dude.
Yeah.
And then he goes on, but he says it twice. He's like, we know that Nathan Bedford Forrest wasn't a good guy, but, and then he goes, I know I'm not gonna endorse the Ku Klux Klan, but, and then he said,
oh my God, I can't believe he did this.
he said, most people don't know this. And this has actually been thoroughly debunked by many historians. It's very, very accessible information.
I mean, even if it wasn't debunked, you could see for what it was, what it would be on its face anyway.
He said most people don't know this, but the Ku Klux Klan was initially created in order to be a protective, defensive force for Southern widows. Obviously, he means Southern white widows.
Of course.
Defending and protecting them from apparently black people. Like, I don't understand what he thought he was accomplishing by doing that, and I recognize that maybe it's possible that part of Stephen Forrest's shadow, which he was not at all addressing whatsoever in this podcast.
Yes.
He was never ever talking about how these are some things that I have to work out. It just appeared out of his mouth. And this is what I'm saying. Like, Carl Jung was very clear about this. Your shadow will just come out. You won't be aware of it. Stephen Forrest was not aware of it. Nobody on the podcast pointed this out, but clearly something that Stephen Forrest has to contend with himself.
How comfortable would that have been, though? It would be like, dude, I'm just saying you just dropped your shadow up in this place.
Yeah, like your shadow's just like, you got a little shadow right here.
I mean, Ricky Williams is definitely somebody who has dealt with racism in his life.
Apparently he's fucking smooth with it, though.
No.
It's weird.
Well, okay, he's smooth with it. All right, he's smooth with it. He put it out, though.
I know.
He put it out.
It's really strange. But listen, let me just say that one of the things that Stephen Forrest clearly has to contend with is if he does believe that he's a descendant of Nathan Bedford Forrest, it is very difficult for a lot of people to ever contend with the fact that they share blood with a bad person. Right? Like, my own family did this, right? I had this whole story, this narrative that was taught to me about how my family had escaped persecution it wasn't the Spanish Inquisition, but it was the one that took place in Portugal, whatever. It was like they were being tormented and they were made to convert, and it was like this horrible, like, torturous many years where many people died, and my family somehow survived by the skin of their teeth, and that was like our survival story. But what my family never ever told me was how that those ancestors moved to Brazil, became upper class people who certainly had slaves. Like, nobody in my family is telling the story. I just have to deduce by the fucking family pictures and the wealth that my family had that, yes, they were probably keeping people. Like, it's just that there's a thing that happens with people who they refuse to acknowledge, and this is actually like shadow shit. You refuse to acknowledge that you might be descended from bad people who did bad things. People who like did crimes or harmed other people, maybe even fucking, engaged in a torture campaign like Nathan Bedford Forrest did. Like, he was a homegrown terrorist, Like,
yes,
very clearly. So I get that Stephen Forrest doesn't want to fucking admit that. But it's just so bonkers that his apology statement doesn't address any of those things. And all that he wants to focus on is the backlash about him using the N-word, the full N-word. Do you want to hear what he said?
Please.
Stephen Forrest says, I am appalled and saddened by the upset my words have created. First of all.
I was just outraged by that for a sentence, personally.
There's something about, like, I'm kind of a nerd about words, but like I always recognize when people are using verbs that are passive and not active. Like, he is not taking ownership. They're not his words that have he didn't cause the controversy. He says the upset my words have created. So he's already made himself once removed.
He's a Scorpio rising, by the way.
Yes. He's a Capricorn sun, Scorpio
We actually
rising.
have very similar charts.
Yes.
We do.
You didn't get into this controversy.
I'm not his age yet.
He also has Pluto in the 10th
Maybe he had a little fucking slip. Maybe he had a little cognitive banana.
Stephen Forrest has Pluto in his 10th house, and it's going to get engaged by this eclipse that's coming up next week.
The Leo eclipse, yeah.
The Leo eclipse
solar
is
eclipse.
going to be right on his Pluto, so
Yeah.
there's probably more to come from him. There might be people that come out of from his past who are like, yeah, he said some racist shit to me too. You know, like I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, Stephen Forrest said.
Oh my God.
So his full apology goes like this: I am appalled and saddened by the upset my words have created. I apologize for my lack of judgment. Please consider the context. I just told you the context, okay? I have considered the context.
You heard it. You listened to the podcast.
Yeah, please consider the context. I was discussing the history of racism with my close friend, Ricky Williams, who is a black man. See, that's a shield. Do you understand? You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter who you were talking to. Ricky Williams can approve of your language. It doesn't mean that all the rest of us have to.
It's the knee jerk, but it's the knee jerk. Yeah, like somebody just did it as well. They were just like, oh, you know who it was? It was actually Brian Cox. When he was interviewed in that interview where he said that he was too tired and talented and to give a shit. In that interview, he was saying people have accused him of being an anti-Semite.
Oh, because he supports the Palestinian cause.
And he said that he's not an anti-Semite. He has many of his closest friends in life are Jewish. So I think it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction to do that. Like it does like
no, but what Stephen Forrest is
like
doing
that
here,
like hold up a shield thing, but
that's very different. What Stephen Forrest is doing here is he's not recognizing that the fact that he was in conversation with a black man is the reason why I've seen this before, where people will use their proximity to somebody in order to do a confessional.
Dude, listen.
Like he wants Ricky Williams, and he's asking him to still to this day, he's asking Ricky Williams to launder his bad reputation.
Sure.
Where he's like, I can't possibly be racist. Why would I tell a black man offensive things?
Dude,
guys, it's not offensive.
Well, I was making.
Are we stupid here?
Well, I was making Small Group, right? Which was, the Christian movie. One of our investors who was this, oh man, he was just an annoying guy. Just, one of those guys who was just like a pest, an absolute pest. How's it going? What's going? Can I see it? Can I see something? Just a pest. And, he put in what was probably a significant amount of money for him, but an insignificant amount of money relative to our budget.
For the production, yeah.
Yeah. But we're like, all right, come on in. Now, this is a Southern dude, right? This guy's a Southern white man, right?
Wealthy Southern white
He made
man.
his money in Amway.
Okay.
He's like a triple
picture.
diamond, or I don't know what they call it.
Does he wear like pleated slacks?
He does. He
Yeah,
did.
okay, I'm getting the picture.
He did, at least. So this dude walks in. Well, he doesn't know that our editor is black.
Before he shows up.
Before he shows up.
Okay.
And we didn't tell anybody. We hired. And by the way, he's
I know.
black.
Because why would it matter?
No, yeah, just don't think about it.
Context, yeah.
I know, it's so crazy. It is weird to not think about these things and then realize there's something to.
They're like, oh, it's an issue.
They're on somebody else's mind.
It's an issue for that person, yeah.
He comes in and he starts talking about his whole family's history all the way back to slavery.
What?
Yes, how their
to
relationship
you?
to Mosley, our fucking editor. He's in there telling it was so fucking fiercely embarrassing.
This is a thing that happens where like they will get in proximity of somebody who triggers this thing and it becomes a confessional in them. It's so strange. It's like I don't know, man. It must be fucking exhausting. It must be exhausting to be somebody like that editor and just be like, I thought I was having a normal day at work and now I'm being confronted with the fucking history of the United States of America. Like, what the fuck?
He was talking about like black people who like made it into his circle as if they were like, like exemplary humans in some way, like how they stood out from the
that's
pack.
exactly what Stephen Forrest did.
Fucking weird, bro. And it was so
was like,
embarrassing that at the end of it all, I would sit down with Mosley and he was like, dude, I've had way worse. I mean,
what is this?
But it was like, this guy came in and the presence of a black person who would be at his level, right? In that moment.
I'm telling you, this is the fucking shadow work because that guy carries around a certain unknowable amount of guilt or shame or something. And it's why this thing purges. And when he's like hanging out with a black person, it's like,
it could be that
Stephen Forrest did the same thing where for some, the shit he brought up was so not in the context. He was just offering it. And then he would just like giggle and then like stop and like make Ricky Williams have to pick up the rest of the conversation, which he does, but like they didn't ever fucking talk about it or address it. Just generally in the podcast, I didn't see that they were doing really great work together. I'm not really sure what they're supposed to be
I'm going to actually throw an image up so that people can see who we're talking about.
Anyway, so, okay, Stephen Forrest says, in that talk, I referenced the demonic N-word, he says.
He didn't reference it.
He did not frame it as a demonic word when he was referencing it.
Right. He said it outright.
He said that he
actually said that he used it with regularity.
Yeah, that he was comfortable hollering it in a role play. In that talk, I referenced the demonic N-word, which lies at the heart of all this darkness. I spoke the word explicitly. I should have said the N-word instead. I apologize for that moment of injudiciousness. Cancel me if you want, but don't call me racist.
I'm going to go with your kind of racist, bud.
I just don't know what to do with this. Cancel me if you want, but don't call me racist. He's making it about him. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, okay, well, you're going to give me 10 lashes, but I'm still going to tell you I'm innocent. Like, bro, we're not fucking talking about you. You're not the one that's harmed. You know? Like Stephen Forrest isn't the one being harmed here, but he can't really reconcile with the fact that he's actually done the harming. He's feeling like a victim. Cancel me if you want, but don't call me racist. That's simply not true. There was nothing racist about that podcast. Quite the opposite. I would fucking beg to differ, because I heard some really fucking alarming things.
For sure.
Ask Ricky. In fact, he'll soon be speaking for himself. Watch this space. Stephen Forrest is like, I'm just going to punt it to my black friend and let him clean up everything for me.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? At his big age, Stephen Forrest was born in this 1949.
1949?
At his big age, he doesn't know how to fucking act right. And so he's going to like align with a black friend to fucking clean up his racial biases when they fucking come out his mouth. It makes me crazy.
That's the guy right there.
I'm sure like the people who are listening to this don't give a shit, because this is so like inside baseball with like the astrology community is fucking divided right now.
Cosmic Energy's probably left quite a while ago.
It's just amazing, because what we're doing is everybody's showing their asses right now. There's people who are defending him for using the N-word, the full N-word, saying that it was in historical context, so it's fine. They didn't listen to the whole podcast.
And it wasn't in historical context.
There are people who did listen to the full podcast who are saying, well, if Ricky Williams didn't have a problem with it, then it's fine. As if he is like the fucking president of black people.
It's funny because
make the rules.
In my book, when I was writing there was a scene in my book where the N-word was used by a black dude, right, who believed that somebody was about to call him that or whatever, and he said it, and it's like it was an important part of a scene that I had written that actually still remains in the book.
Yeah, you were writing a scene about the O.J. Simpson trial and race tension in Los Angeles.
That was happening between this dude and our boss,
who was a Korean
immigrant.
It's interesting. And then when we were editing the book,
you did the whole sensitivity thing. You were just like, Dale, I just don't think you need this. I don't think it's a good word to use in this situation.
Nobody needs to hear it, man.
I was like, well, this is literally like, as I remember it, what he said. And then you were like, I don't care.
Yeah, there's always
another way.
There's always a creative way to avoid showing people that word. It's like,
I'm really glad that you got it out of there, because I wrote it in my draft. In my draft, I just, because I was writing the dialogue, sort of whatever you like in flow. I don't write dialogue, pondering every word. I do that when I rewrite dialogue. But when I'm writing dialogue, the conversation's happening. It's what it's what I can see and hear the person saying.
In your memoir, you're going for accuracy.
Correct.
Right.
Well, and yeah, exactly. And character, and not just in what they say, but how they say it, their character.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just glad it made it out, because it's just an important thing to recognize that like when people want to quickly excuse white people using this word.
I don't believe anybody actually still feels. I mean, in this
under the auspices of it having context, I say that's nonsense.
In historical context, no, man.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Do that.
That's absolute nonsense.
Also, Stephen Forrest says, I referenced the demonic N-word. Look at how he's reframing how he feels about that word. That is absolutely not how he felt about it then. Also, it cheapens the work that he is supposed to be doing.
Right.
If you just dismiss it by saying, "Oh, it's bad, it's demonic," like obviously I feel that way. Yeah. You're not actually contending with how you do feel about that word, that you would feel comfortable saying it to a black man. He said, "I'm sure you've heard that word a bunch of times," and then he said the actual word. Like you don't feel that way about that word. This is what I'm saying about like, if they actually understood what shadow work is, they would recognize this for what it is. If you're working to
I think it's such a great point.
if you're actually working to expose the shadow that is keeping you from being your fully realized self,
Yeah.
you don't just go and label bad parts as demonic,
Are you
or
sure?
he says the heart of all this darkness. That's not actually doing the work of integrating all the parts of you. Like, Stephen Forrest has a job to do, and that is to integrate his racial biases, fully understand what they are, fully understand how they come up and why they come up, and reconcile with all of his past and all of that teaching. It's fucking difficult work. I have had to work on my own racial biases. There's probably still some more shit that I haven't fucking been alerted to, that might come up.
When you're raised by people who are racist or who have these sort of racist tendencies, then or integrations themselves, then
Yeah.
that stuff comes with you.
It's got to be really tough for people who are actually raised by racists. But like for me, I just had a bunch of ignorance about the systemic racism of it all. Like I fully understood, a bunch of us who grew up in the 90s were raised to be like colorblind, which doesn't help anybody. That's a whole problem. But like nobody ever taught me why there were poor black neighborhoods and wealthy white neighborhoods. Like I had to learn that that's actually like fucking on purpose.
Yeah, by design.
Like deliberate fucking hostility.
Yeah.
Like that's actually like a violent system, a plan in action, Like we don't necessarily understand these things. And what they were saying in the podcast is that there is a shadow of our culture that is hidden and suppressed that we all have to contend with. Certainly it comes up, like it very much came up and got in everybody's face in 2020, which is a fucking good thing.
For sure.
Because as a culture, we can't fully actualize ourselves until we contend with this. Everybody wants to keep burying it down. Well, it's going to keep coming back up like a fucking hydra. You can't kill it, bro. Like you have to bring it to light. Whatever. Anyway, that's the end of my fucking soapbox about Stephen Forrest. It's just so great to be on the side of young astrologers and astrologers of color and a lot of people who are like undoing all of like the colonizer fucking capitalist. I saw this guy who he was trying to explain planet signs and houses as renters, landlords, and then the city or something. It was so, I was like, capitalism has fucking wormed its way into your brain and ruined it. Like we have to have these conversations and like figure out what we're doing in this practice, like so that we can make it nice for everybody. The best thing that ever came out of this whole controversy is that I have a lot of outspoken Black astrologers who were super offended about this.
Yeah.
Now I'm following all their pages and I get to meet a bunch more of them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. As a consolation to it all, I suppose. Yeah. Well, so Stephen Forrest, I think his career is definitely over. When I say that, I don't mean that he won't be an astrologer. I just don't think he'll be an astrologer. Listen, I'm never going to read him again.
Oh, really?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I might, I guess, but I'm so turned off.
I know we often have this conversation about like, do you separate the art from the artist? Like when the artist does something bad, does that mean the art is bad?
I don't really think of him as an artist as much as maybe he thinks himself an artist. Like I more or less look at him as somebody that I look to for astrological guidance. He's already practicing an astrology that I don't practice. So there's that. He uses a different charting system. Like it's not like a house system, I should say. So his house system is totally, totally different from mine. And so I was reading him because I loved Inner Sky so much. I just kept going back for more.
No, it's true though.
He's a wise astrologer. Like to be sure, this guy is as good an astrologer as anyone can be, especially in his specialty. But I don't need him. I'm surrounded by. I have a fucking library of books by great authors and great astrologers. I don't have to. He unfortunately for him.
He showed his ass, and now yes.
And for those of us who know that we can get what we need anywhere else, I don't need to get it from him. There's no, he's not like it's not like when you lose like your favorite musician. Like I can't go get Eric Clapton from anybody else.
Well, I mean, he is kind of a copy artist of all these Black artists, so it is kind of the same conversation, isn't it?
No, it's
Didn't
not.
he learn his blues guitar from black
Everything is
musicians?
influenced by something else.
Yeah, right.
That's not what I'm talking
It's
about.
just an interesting comparison.
You blew up my awesome analogy. And now I'm just going to have to resent you for the whole rest of the
I know
night.
Stephen Forrest is he's like the Eric Clapton of astrology. Is that what you're saying?
No, he's not the Eric Clapton. I'm just saying like, what I'm saying is that Stephen Forrest is easily replaced compared to those artists that you lose to their stupidity who,
Yeah.
delivered a very special brand of whatever it is that they did. And I used Eric Clapton, and I shouldn't have because it got completely destroyed. But I'm just saying, if there's a fucking artist that you love, when they fuck up, you lose something that's special to you. Stephen Forrest writes books about astrology.
I'm also just really stunned.
Like, I don't sit here and like, oh, I just need to read one more paragraph.
I'm stunned by the astrology of it too. Like we are in the eclipse window where the eclipse is the sun and Jupiter are moving over the sun, Jupiter, and then to be joined by the moon are going to be moving over his 10th house, Pluto. Oh. Pluto represents the shadow.
Yes.
Like Pluto represents all of the hidden toxic the patterns that are no longer serving you that must be destroyed in order to create a more fertile ground for a better new beginning.
Yep.
Like Pluto is known as the destroyer, but it will destroy things that are no longer working. And I believe that the Pluto in the 10th house and the eclipse happening right on, So Stephen Forrest has Pluto in his 10th house, but the transiting Pluto is across from the eclipse in Aquarius, which is across from, he's not having an exact Pluto opposition.
He's having a house opposition.
He's having a house opposition right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I mean is that the eclipse in Leo, which is connected to the South Node, which is placed there, that's the South Node eclipse. It is going to cause a bunch of different areas of people's life and all over in politics and everything. Our heroes, our leaders are going to fall. Like this is what we can expect.
Yeah.
And obviously in the case of like Stephen Forrest, this is happening figuratively.
Is it North Node in Leo?
North Node in Aquarius.
In Aquarius. So it is the South.
Which is like power to the people type shit. Like,
well, and the South Node is release. And if you're looking at release in Leo, you're looking at like the release of kings. The release. Yes. It's
just like the emphasis
purge.
is on the collective versus these leaders.
Yeah.
These leaders are going to lose their pedestal.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's fucking happening.
That just happened to Stephen Forrest in his astrology.
It's just a sign of the times
Chris
for him.
Brennan, who runs, one of the bigger podcasts in astrology. He's an Hellenistic astrologer. He's an educated, like literally went to college for astrology when it was, I think it was Kepler when it was a,
Did they lose their accreditation?
They lost their accreditation. So when it was accredited, though, he went.
Yeah.
So he actually got a bachelor's in astrology. Dope is that?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Do that tomorrow. And then especially if we go and apply for my McDonald's job with my fucking bachelor's in astrology. Anyway, he's a big shot in the business. And he's being as hard on Stephen Forrest as anybody should.
He's a lot more ethical and measured than I am. Like the guys, like Chris Brennan's a real pro. I'm sharing my opinions pretty fucking loosely. Like it's fine if
you had a couple too many wines, you're like
I could get fucking judged for it.
The housewife or whatever, And I heard something about him that I don't know if you've heard.
That's kind of my manner all the time. Like I don't drink anymore, but I kind of never let that go.
Yeah.
I just have really fucking strong opinions about people who won't own up to their shit. Like if I said something fucking racist on a podcast, the apology you'd hear from me is, "Oh my God, I can't believe that I said something racist on a podcast, and I'm so fucking sorry that I hurt anybody." Like I'm gonna do better and learn about my fucking unconscious racist biases. And thank you for putting me on this fucking path so I could do better.
I'm gonna edit it out.
What?
Like what I'm going to do is if I said something racist on a podcast,
you're not going to air
I'm going to be
it.
like, you can't put that on the air
No,
if it's
I
not
know.
mine. If it is mine, 100% it's coming off.
That's another thing. In his,
just so you know,
Ricky Williams and Stephen Forrest got together and they made another video and they made it fucking worse. And what they said together was they were like, listen, on our podcast, we endeavor to talk about hard topics. And if you guys aren't ready for it, then I guess, I'm sorry that you're not strong enough to talk about these hard topics.
And you need to go and gain some muscle.
They are shaming the audience for not being ready to talk about, to contend with racism. That's absolutely not what fucking was happening on that podcast. And I can't believe that they're shaming their audience for being offended about something that is very, very, like, subjectively, which one? Whatever. Very offensive.
Subjectively.
Yes, it's a very offensive speech, and he's shaming his audience for being offended.
I mean, objectively. Yes, it's objectively offensive because if it truly was obviously if it was truly the dark side or the shadow or whatever it would be, and it was something that you were acknowledging because it's thematically proper to do so, and you're sitting there across from a black man who's also your friend, you can tell the story about how there was a time in your life when by misguidance and ignorance and whatever the soup was, whatever the recipe to the soup was, it all came together in this moment where this person was the furthest from themselves that they'd want to be in this circumstance, right?
Yeah, he didn't frame it like that at all.
No, he brought it out like there was almost like pride in it. Like he's a storyteller, and he's kind of
folksy.
He's kind of folksy, exactly. He's kind of folksy, and so I think
he was reminiscing about a time when you could freely say the N-word and it was no big deal and everybody would laugh. And I'm just like, man, we are too far along in this fucking modern age to keep fucking talking like that. Like, what's so weird is that if you are a practicing astrologer and you've done it for decades, your whole job is to understand and take apart and put back together elements of character. Right? Yeah. Like this, it's like kind of like a depth psychology that we do. When you really are analyzing a birth chart and trying to figure out what attributes of that person's personality come from the alignment of the stars, it's like really deep, introspective work that you can do for yourself and that you can provide people guidance to do for themselves. And that he's incapable of doing it makes me feel like he's a fucking bad astrologer. Like, I don't understand. It's right there in front of him.
I mean, he's not a bad astrologer, and you know that. He's just.
But do you get what I'm saying? Like, if he doesn't see that that this is an element of the character, or that he doesn't see that this is the story trying to be told in the astrology, whatever. I don't know.
He didn't rise to the moment.
No,
that's for sure. All right, listen. Enough of fucking Stephen Forrest. His shit's done. He's. I'm done with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read your books anymore, bud. Or recommend them for that matter. So I don't know if like some bad press is coming out about Leo or not.
Oh.
But
I see that he donated more money, so he must be covering up for something.
Right? Like, doesn't it just kind of stinks like
so him and
what did you do?
So Leonardo DiCaprio and Jeff Bezos made like a big environmental donation.
They did.
Together?
It's like a bit come on. I don't think that's what Leo was doing, you guys.
It's not that big, by the way, because
Leo wasn't going on these yachts for entertainment. Leo was going on these yachts because Leo
to save the environment
was there to save the world. And he knew that in order to save the world, he had to engage with the evil oligarch, Jeff Bezos.
He was like, if you don't donate to my environmental causes, or else.
Foundations funded and co-founded by Leonardo DiCaprio and Jeff Bezos have launched an initiative committing $200 million to revive 100 of Earth's most threatened species, including endangered lemurs, salamanders, pangolins, pigs, and echidnas. Is it like
echidna, I think is.
Echidna?
Yeah, have you ever seen that animal? Look it up.
Okay.
They're really weird. They're like.
That's not how you spell echidna. Echidna is A space K.
No. I don't know how it's pronounced properly. Maybe you could look that up too. But the sometimes you encounter one of these like an animal that's only.
Those are fucking dope.
I know.
They look like porcupines.
I know. What's so cool is that you're like.
I want one.
Every now and then you see one of these animals and you're like, wow, that's an earthling. Like, have you ever seen those anteaters that have like their arms look like animals? Like they have print on their arms, on their fur that make it look like there's like.
Yeah. Like
so they look like they're in an animal costume.
Yeah. It's so great.
It's so strange.
Okay, so
man.
DiCaprio's Wild and the Bezos Earth Fund. This is fucking hilarious. The Bezos Earth Fund. This guy builds data centers and he sails 100+ foot yachts constantly. He flies in private jets constantly.
His yachts have support yachts.
He is one of the big carbon fucking criminals of our time. And he's got the Earth Fund. It's just the Bezos Earth Fund, or BEF, as we call it, are leading the Phoenix Species Project. The Phoenix Species Project.
So they're gonna burn everything down to the ground.
I think they were just drinking wine one night, and they're like, "What have we called it? The Phoenix Species Project." Oh, I love that, Jeff.
pouring out of like a fucking $2,000 bottle, right?
They call it the largest.
Or is that? I don't know. Are they $2,000 or like bottles of $20,000 bottles?
Yeah, easily, no problem.
See,
These guys,
this is how little I know.
cases of them.
I don't even know what an expensive bottle is.
It's like, you know how much you got to pay for this in a restaurant? 30, 40K. You know what I got it for? I got 3 cases at 10K a pop. You know, I mean, they spill more money than I earn in a year. And yeah, that's a problem. They call it the largest single fund in history dedicated exclusively to recovering critically endangered species. DiCaprio has, for years, been developing the idea of a major concerted effort to help species whose habit and future existence are threatened by climate change. And then he goes and sails on a mega yacht. Mm-hmm. It's just, none of this makes sense. It's just the most ridiculous things. He's saying, save the earth, at the very same time as saying, well, if you ever get rich as me, do this.
It only makes sense if you consider that he's like a cynical, lying asshole.
It infuriates me that people buy into this shit.
I know.
These guys are among the worst polluters in human fucking history.
But the thing is that a lot of these organizations are in need of the donations. So they're going to be like, well, you know, the ends justify the means, I guess.
So he gets to put the fucking ribbon on his fucking lapel.
Yeah.
The meeting led to a series of conversations with local governments and environmental groups. I'm not even going to fuck you. Fuck you. Go save your lives, you fucking travesty of a human. Both of you. Exactly. The dog made us snort. You guys didn't hear it. By the way, we were the other day worried because the dog was honking, bro. The dog was like a train going down the tracks.
Yeah, he was doing a honk shoe?
For sure. And we were almost, none of it.
None of it went into the mic?
None of it.
Are you serious?
I turned it up. I was looking for it. I couldn't find any of it.
Oh, that's so great. I thought you guys could hear a dog snoring, but apparently you can't because it's loud. This dog is very comfortable.
There's some great, pardon me, there's some great flock camera stuff going on.
Yes, I saved some of these stories. This is so exciting. Everybody is, it's really interesting. This person said that
flock camera contracts were canceled in over 23 jurisdictions so far.
Yeah, everybody hates this shit.
Yeah.
Did you see how...
The guillotine?
Oh, yeah, but that was for a data center.
Who cares? Best thing ever. What we're talking about is rebellion, right?
Yes.
We're talking about rebellion, but we're talking about nobody's getting hurt.
Power to the fucking people, guys.
Power to the fucking people. We're talking about rebellion. These people are out there. They're cutting flock cameras down. They're blocking their images.
Police in Winona, Minnesota are stunned after every single one of their flock cameras were suddenly removed in a single night. And then this person, Wisconsin Homer, on Twitter said, Minnesotans are what Texans think they are. They're just going to be like renegade mavericks. Fantastic. Anyway, it's just so wonderful. People are really, really aligning against flock cameras. Here's another really horrific thing about these fucking
and data centers. Too. And data centers.
Guys, it's so much fucking worse. It's so much worse. They have 2 articles that came out this week about these fucking flock cameras. Is like this guy, they investigated that flock cameras were recording license plates around a school so that they could nab students. I don't know if you know that there's some students can only go to the schools in their school district.
Yes.
Like where they live.
Sure.
But it's a very common scam.
Right, to say you live somewhere else.
Where you try and beat the system.
You're like,
and get your kid into
you got a cousin in the district and you're like,
so you try and
I live here now.
You try and get your kid into a better school than the poor ass school that they're supposed to.
By getting your mail somewhere else.
So they're using fucking flock cameras to track license plates and get these kids making them move to poorer schools.
It's very important that we do that.
This is never what we were supposed to use these for. They were supposed to be catching like burglars and fucking carjacking and fucking murderers and shit.
Schools are paid for by property taxes.
Also,
Angela.
the worst thing. So it's like that's a little fuckery. Like, okay, those people are breaking the rules, whatever. Maybe you're fine with that because you're a fucking bootlicker and like you don't like when kids attend better schools. Like, okay, fine. But this is another story. Apparently, the lead investor behind Flock Camera Technologies was caught funding a firm that is able to locate, hack, and then alter both live and archived security camera footage without a detectable trace.
Oh my God.
So here you go. They are creating a future in which you could be found guilty of a crime that you never fucking committed because they have video evidence that was actually hacked and manipulated without any detectable trace, and you would never.
So
be
forensically, it's authentic, and they would tell a
show
jury.
the jury he's right here on the camera committing the crime, being at the scene of the crime, and doing the bad thing.
It is what it is. There's the timestamp.
Completely hacked, completely fabricated, not detectable forensically, and you're just fucked.
Who's the author? Who's the author who writes this book?
It is the lead investor.
This is a thriller. Was this a Clive Cussler?
The lead investor behind the Flock Camera Technologies it was funding this too. So if you don't think from the very fucking top that they're planning on doing all of this shit, you're dreaming. Like, it's so crazy. We're so far into the dystopia already. Like, it's not even cute anymore, guys.
So that was my very next story, by the way, that Winona, Minnesota
Yes.
woke up stunned that every single one of their flock cameras were mysteriously removed in a single night. And they're asking for help, but people are saying shit. They're like, no, but whoever did it couldn't have been him because he was at my house having breakfast.
We were saving a cat from a tree together, and it was at the exact same time when that crime happened. It couldn't have been him.
No, we were in a group sex situation, actually.
No, it's actually, we were in group Bible study.
Group Bible
That's
study.
what they do.
Yeah.
They make them sound like the most
virtuous. Right. You're right.
But this also, police in Wisconsin used flock camera technology to track a man across state lines in order to create a pretext to search his car for weed. They never actually found. They're pre-criming. They're pre-criming with flock cameras.
No, what is that? The Tom Cruise one?
From the Minority Report.
Minority Report. Yeah, exactly that.
Oh, it makes me crazy, guys. This is like not good. So anyway, if you are anti-flock camera, or you're like, protesting at a city council or chopping down of flock cameras or in your neighborhood, whatever, I'm on your side.
I just think it's so fucking fun to witness. Because I feel like they're winning the data center guillotine moment. This data center, they're whatever. There's this, what is it, like a $5 billion or $50 billion, 500 billion?
Insane.
So some stupid amount of money is like billions of dollars. It was a $5+ billion data center that was going up in this community, and they were holding public hearings, and like hordes of people showed up, and they also brought with them a guillotine. And it made everybody so nervous that they closed the meeting down.
Yeah.
And they made everybody go away.
No. What happened?
Because they closed the meeting because they were like, the presenters and the city council and all this other stuff felt like there was a very serious intimidation going on, a life-threatening intimidation going on.
Yeah, the people who were behind the data center were going to appear at the meeting, and they decided not to appear at the meeting anymore because they didn't want to be exposed to the mob.
They showed up with a guillotine, dude, and they were like, who's that for? What isn't it? It's not what is going on?
I know. It's what's adorable is that the actual footage of the guillotine, it's like this rickety, like somebody made it in their garage with like raw lumber, like they chopped down a tree.
Yeah.
And
it's definitely a prop. It's like,
well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that blade was sharp, but they
knows?
brought it on the back of a bicycle. It was so amazing. The thing's huge.
This is big giant guillotine.
I'm just so proud of people for just making the point with props.
So they bucket. So they are now. What are they calling it? Reviewing now the data center is back under review.
They're gonna vote on a moratorium now.
Yeah, they're considering a moratorium on the data.
The city council's like, so we got your point.
Okay, so someone's gonna die, and that's not worth $5 billion. I mean, it kind of is, but since we don't know who's gonna die, it's not. Unbelievable.
It's eclipse season, guys.
It's eclipse season.
This is what it's all about, man.
It is.
It's seriously, it's like the whole dynamic is so explosive. It's power to the people.
Yes.
It's the fall of leaders and the people who are trying to consume the spotlight, right? And it's like it's a time for the rest of us to, claim it.
It's fucking great.
I know. I'm proud of us.
I have so many. My feed has like all flock cameras in Winona missing. Like they're just like all, like it's all over.
It's
Like
a big celebration.
oh, I just love it. Jared Leto.
Yeah, what about him?
He lost a major TV role, or no, he lost a major movie role
Ooh,
amid sexual misconduct allegations.
I think that it's not my conspiracy theory, it's somebody else's, that they were just waiting for his contracts to wrap up
Before they drop him.
before they just like let him
Well,
cancel.
WME may drop him if he can't book. Jared Leto lost a major role in a political thriller, Assassination, amid sexual misconduct allegations. Multiple sources close to the production exclusively told Page Six. Sources allege the Dallas Buyers Club star was in advanced talks to join Rain Man director Barry Levinson's Assassination in 2025 before the production ultimately passed on casting the actor amid the mounting sexual misconduct allegations. Leto was reportedly extremely interested in joining the film and had been in ongoing conversations with Levinson about the role, with one source describing the casting as seems like a done deal.
Oh. Oops.
Consequences. So yeah, I mean maybe there's some consequences for here's the thing, like
It's long overdue, man.
you know what sucks? I mean, I've said this 1,000 fucking times on this channel, but you can't like. It's so sad that women who have single one-off offenders, they're fucking screwed. Like
because one victim is never enough in this fucking system.
10.
Yeah.
Like this guy, especially if there's leverage, if there's power, if there's status. So yeah, I mean, 10 women aren't enough. Like it's insanity. And I always think about that. I always think about that woman who, gets attacked by the guy the one time. The guy who gets, fucking loses his mind the one time. It's been on his mind, whatever, he cracks.
So nobody believes her?
Yeah, she's toast, man, unless she's got absolutely empirical evidence.
Like if Jared Leto loses roles, good, but like, is he gonna face any fucking like criminal consequences for his behavior?
There's apparently, according to TMZ, there are no criminal investigations open on the accusations made by these women against him. So that doesn't mean they're not coming.
Yeah. Right.
Look at Danny Masterson. He for years. Yeah. This is if you think about it, this kind of has a Danny Masterson timeline like similarity, because this is what Danny was going through. He had all these people accusing him, and Netflix was like, well, we're just going to let it play out. In the meantime, we're just going to do our show, because he had the show with Kutcher on Netflix.
Right.
And
now I got to look at Jared Leto's astrology chart, see if I can find the forecast.
Did you hear, by the way, that Mitch McConnell was released?
I'm sorry?
From the hospital.
In a casket?
No. He got released from the hospital. He went. There's video of him jogging.
No
He's
way.
actually high knees.
Yeah, high knees.
He's doing high knees.
He's like, that scare really put everything into perspective. I'm gonna get into shape now.
He's doing high knees, and he keeps.
Shut up! What are you talking about?
No. So here's the thing. They're reporting that Mitch McConnell's been released and that he will now recover from home. He put out a statement. Did Mr. McConnell, assuring Kentuckians that he is hard at work.
Has anybody seen him?
I don't believe
they're just gonna keep.
We have actual eyes on the man.
Oh my God. He's just gonna. They're gonna have Mitch McConnell do a podcast next, where it's gonna be like robot voice.
TMZ is saying Mitch McConnell's DC home has drawn plenty of eyeballs during his mysterious weeks-long absence, and it turns out that there was a senator living there the whole time, just not Mitch.
What?
I don't know what that means.
Somebody else?
Yeah. So, there's Tom Tillis. He had a key to the place.
Tom Tillis.
Oh, yeah, it's Tillis.
Yeah.
I don't know these fucking people. Turns out Tillis has been renting a carriage house on McConnell's property after selling his condo in March. Yeah, Mitch, I'm a little homeless at the moment. You got a back house?
He didn't call him. He's dead, man. That guy's super dead. Okay, Jared Leto.
Could you picture him doing the high knees or no?
Yes, I could, with his jowls wobbling. I looked up.
I didn't get that detail. Thank you.
I looked up Jared Leto in my astrology app, and all I found was Jared Fogle.
Wow.
December 26, 1971.
That's the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dale, we have a fly in
I
the
saw it.
studio here.
We have these flies. You can tell why they made that episode in Breaking Bad, the fly episode, the loathed fly episode. But it's true. Like, I'm obsessed with these flies. Like, this one's looking at me and I feel like we have a rivalry. I'm going to catch it. And when I do, it will perish. And I don't like to kill things, but I do kill flies and mosquitoes.
Do you feel bad every time you do it?
You know, it's like one of those, like, I wish you didn't have to come to this. I asked you to leave nicely.
Yeah.
Or I would have, at least, if I could have. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's daughter says that Ozempic brought back her eating disorder.
Ooh, that's terrible.
Isn't that sad?
Um,
I wondered about that because it's an appetite suppressant, right?
yeah, and also I think that when you're on it, you're encouraged to really troubleshoot your diet, and I think that, yeah, if you had an eating disorder, I can understand why that would be triggering.
I don't know who's left. I haven't been back to the chat in a while, but would you guys be down? Would you guys be into? This is going to be like an outtake. Are you guys interested in us doing some Criterion work from the Criterion channel?
Like watching Criterion
Yeah,
collection
watching
movies?
Criterion,
You're pulling.
and kind of, doing our little reviews on them. Let me know in the chat if you guys are interested in something like that. I don't know who's with us still, but whoever's with us.
Okay, Jared Leto. He has a 10th house Venus that is being engaged right now by a 10th house transiting Pluto.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, man.
Jared Leto
Yeah.
has a 10th
He's-
house transiting
Yes,
Pluto.
this is also the year of his nodal return, where the nodes are aligning to where the nodes were in his birth time.
Mm-hmm.
And the lunar nodes are kind of like nobody really seems to know exactly how to interpret
He's
them.
Taurus rising?
He is a Taurus rising, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's so pretty. But the nodal return is usually like, are you on the right path? Are you being provoked to change your path because you're not on the right path? Like, it's like kind of like a reassessment period at this point in his life. It's why a lot of people have like a midlife crisis right around this time, where they're just like, fuck, everything sucks. I'm gonna divorce my wife and buy a sports car or whatever. That's what's happening for him. Anywho, you're gonna let dead air?
It's good. I just got room tone. I'm gonna be releasing the second episode. Man, did we get into it with the whole like esoteric conversation?
Yeah, I like to talk about
It was great.
dumb shit
We
sometimes.
went off. It was fun. It was fun. I was cutting it today. I'm finished the first cut, and then I'm just gonna like do some tweaks.
Can I tell you about a correction? We have a correction.
Oh, okay.
In this, our third episode.
We have to correct ourselves.
Yes.
Oh, what is it?
So I talked to you about a story that I found online. A 26-year-old man from Chicago, Illinois, was arrested this weekend after allegedly hacking into the Cook County Human Services System and approving every single application for food stamps.
Oh, the Robin Hood guy.
The Robin Hood hacker.
Yes. What is it? The
You remember?
food stamp hacker?
Yes, he went and approved all the food stamps in the whole system, like Robin Hood.
A mensch. A real mensch.
Nope, not real at all.
No, not real at
This
all.
was a fake story.
No way.
Because nothing is real anymore, guys. Everything is fucking fake on the internet. So I went looking, because you were editing the episode, and I went looking for like the actual source, so that we could fucking put it on the screen or whatever. And it doesn't fucking exist. Apparently, let me find this. Aha. The image of his mugshot is AI generated. That person does not exist.
God damn it.
But also the story is fabricated. The Cook County Sheriff's Office confirmed that they have no record of this arrest. They don't use booking photos that look like this one that's depicted anyway. But the similar fabricated stories about hackers approving food stamp applications have been circulated for years on social media and prank websites. This whole story is fake. This is a very common fake story that I didn't know.
It's infuriating.
Here's the thing. Here's my, like, I formulated a conspiracy because that's what I do with everything. But I think that we saw a lot of this in 2020 and after 2016, right? With like election, there was a lot of people who were starting to point out how social media accounts were being run overseas. It was like a lot of Russian, Israeli, and I think some other countries too, where they would just get maybe like some Indian too. But anyway, it seems like there's this whole network of like bot farms that are posting this content that is only meant to divide people. And it's about American social commentary. And it could be completely innocuous like this, like a Robin Hood story about a guy who hacks into a computer system and approves all the food stamps. What you're going to do is show this on social media, and you're going to be able to...
People outraged that people are getting free food stamps.
Yes, there's going to be people who are like, I'm not paying my tax dollars for people to get fucking free food, whatever.
Just so they can buy
cookies.
Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Some dumb shit. And then you'll have a lot of people like me who are like celebrating the Robin Hood hackers, like thinking that's cool as shit. Okay, so it's going to divide people. It's going to have them argue online, but also it effectively catalogs the people who are following this and approving, and the people who are following it and disapproving. And then those more recently, they're able to actually like catalog people and their beliefs in order to like farm more of the shit that they want or the shit that they find to be unpleasant to them. It's like it's all a giant fucking social experiment. So we can't even believe any of the stories that we read online anymore. It makes me squirm. It's so horrible.
We got bamboozled.
Yeah, I got bamboozled.
We got hoodwinked.
And like it's just like it's kind of harmless, because like who cares if that story's fake or not?
Yeah.
But it's like, what is the reason behind making that fake story that makes me super creeped out? I hate it here.
It's the worst timeline.
What are we doing?
It's the craziest thing.
We created the internet. It was so beautiful for such a short amount of time.
It's like one dystopian headline after another.
Fucked.
Like one of the headlines I got today was that if the Earth heats up 3 more degrees,
oh my God, don't even talk to me about.
Listen to this: 4 billion people are going to die, and scientists are projecting that is going to happen.
Oh my God.
By 2050. 1 and 2 will perish. By famine, by fire, by every other,
you can't talk about that because it's too upsetting.
It's just the headline that got in my feed. And it's like, it's like some kind of like I'm trying to clean out my feed. Like my feed is, I'm trying to get like negative things out. And this shit just keeps coming.
Yeah.
Lord.
Everything's terrible, guys. We might as well party while we can, right?
Yeah, just you don't have to hurt anyone. Just get really drunk.
Things are just going to get weirder, though. I'm sure of it. Like, everything's just going to get so much more bizarre. One of the other things about Pluto in Aquarius.
Yes.
There's a great astrologer who I don't believe has said anything racist on the internet. So far as you know. So far as I know. Austin Coppock is a really great astrologer. And he always has... I love his podcast interviews and stuff because he's kind of like a negative Nelly. Like he's kind of like a...
He's extremely dark.
He's really irreverent.
He's a Cancer rising, I think.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I enjoy his vibe because I'm so sick of sunshine and rainbows people taking over. Like this is, obviously this is like new age spaces that
Howdly doodly.
I know. I can't deal with it because everything's fucking terrible. I want somebody to actually tell me how terrible everything is. Anyway, so Austin Coppock,
astrology for time immemorial has been harsh.
Yeah. Like an eclipse happens and the king will die. Right? Like that's the kind of like I'm into that.
Yeah,
Tell
and
me
it's
that
like
shit.
and the aspects that sort of present themselves more than most in terms of like manifest in ways that are sort of whatever burdensome are the malefics. And so astrologers speak about what Mars and what fucking Saturn are doing at all times.
I personally have an exalted malefic. I have a Saturn in Libra, so like I'm into the dark and dreary and the death and the everything. Like I'm comfortable with that. Whatever. My point for saying all this is that Austin Coppock said that Pluto often will signify what we collectively as a society, what we will collectively fear. Obviously that's very useful if you follow Pluto transits and you're like a content creator or a writer or a filmmaker or something. You can sort of like exploit these vibes to like help align with the zeitgeist If you're like making horror movies or whatever, you could be like, okay, well, where's Pluto? What sign is it in? Let's make some content for that. But just generally, what we fear is going to have a Aquarian cloak, right? And Aquarius, typically people say that Aquarius represents technology. So we all have a very healthy fear of technology now, increasing every day. Okay. And we all are going to have a fear of society in general and like what collective groups are capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think of it like not like a general who's conducting war, but like the guerrilla warfare type thing. It's just like a broader group of people where there is no soul center to blame or to root out, right?
Yep.
So that might be one of the things we fear. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to this, or am I kind of just rambling still?
No, I don't have anything to add.
I feel like I'm coming off very caffeinated in this episode.
There's some good stuff coming. Like Venus is heading into Libra, and it's going to do 2 stints in Libra. It's going to do like 35 days its first time around. Then it's going to retrograde and do another 40 days. So from now until first week of December, or not from now, but moments from now, Venus is going to be in her happy place.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's pretty cool because we're talking about, things balanced, fairness, and just a lot of really great possibilities. So there's good stuff on the horizon too, as always. And Jupiter's in Leo. That's dope.
It's pretty good.
Wherever Jupiter is, it's kind of dope, but Leo's dope as fuck.
We'll see what happens with the eclipse, man. It's supposed to be pretty intense. And I know that I've said this before, but I feel like Donald Trump's days are numbered with this eclipse. He's born on an eclipse, so eclipses are supposed to figure really prominently in his life. Eclipses are when things in Donald Trump's life have like big beginnings or sudden endings. And this has been true his entire life. The last time that there was an eclipse in one of his angular houses, I thought he was done for, but he started a war. So it was not the interpretation that I had expected.
Right.
But clearly he exploited that energy somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Now the eclipse is happening right in his first house.
Yeah.
The house of his own self, his own identity, his own vitality. I don't know whether he's going to make it. So we'll see what happens. And how fucking weird would that shit be?
Fingers crossed.
Everything would be fucking different.
I love how
all
you just don't have to say why you're crossing your fingers. Just fingers crossed for Donald Trump. Just fingers crossed for him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're in the eclipse season right now, so everything's going to be fucking
Concerned citizens happy about Venus heading into
Libra.
It's my 12th house, so I'm cool with it, of course, but I'm actually looking forward to it in its fall in my first, conjoining up with my Jupiter to see what happens. It won't be retrograding, so I'll just whip right through anyway. I love that it's retrograding in Libra. I want to pay very close attention to this retrograde, indeed, because obviously it's retrograding.
Venus retrograde in Libra. I feel like there's a lot of celebrities are going to get divorced, but it'll be like the woman who is like suddenly decided she's sick of this shit.
Be like,
and gets the divorce.
You know what? What? You're ugly. What? You're ugly.
Have you heard about this thing that happens where women will be on birth control their entire lives, and then when they suddenly stop their birth control, all of a sudden they like wake up from a daze?
And they're like, oh, who the fuck are you?
Yes. This actually happens to people where all of a sudden when they don't have like supplemental hormones and their own hormones are supposed to take over, that they actually have different opinions about their partners. Is that horrific?
It's fucking horrific.
I'd be so worried if I was a dude in a relationship with somebody who was like on hormones. Like, is it you or are you like a changeling? You know?
It's insanity. Okay. Well, I don't know do you have anything else?
Yes, I have plenty, but not. I feel like I've done enough.
You want to just
done
give us
enough
one more?
damage.
Give us a parting story.
A parting.
Did you got anything positive?
No,
Get out.
I don't.
Leave right now.
I don't have anything positive.
How about okay, here's something positive. One of SpaceX's rockets crashed into the moon. It wasn't supposed to crash into the moon.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm dead fucking serious, yeah.
What the guy is? This guy
There's
is
actually
a
this
fucking menace, bro.
somebody put a picture of it on
Elon Musk
on
is
the
a
internets.
goddamn menace. What the fuck do you mean he's crashing spaceships into the fucking moon?
I know, dude. I'm gonna
Can
just
we
put it on the
not do
screen for
that?
everyone.
Can we not? Is nothing fucking sacred?
Look at the before after. You can't see it, but there's the before.
Listen, I happen to be fond of the moon,
There's
and I would
the
really
after.
appreciate it if nobody fucking crashed into it.
Oh, it doesn't look like anything other than like, yeah, it looks like like when you get like it looks like a little paintbrush
No,
stroke
I
or
know,
something.
but there's a fucking man-made crater on the moon now, thanks to Elon fucking Musk of all
Yeah.
fucking people. Fuck
Yep.
this guy. Here's a Elon Musk story that I saved because straight up fuck this guy all the way to the moon. Can we please just not?
How about to Mars?
Elon Musk's Hyperloop idea.
Yes.
Do you remember when he was like pitching this
Yes.
idea of having like Hyperloop trains?
Yes.
His Hyperloop idea was just a ruse to kill California's high-speed rail project. He never intended to fucking build it. He just made big promises so that he could divert all of the fucking public funds to his company, and it killed the fucking actually public-funded high-speed rail project. And then it just fucking went away and disappeared.
Where's his fucking solar panels? Did you hear about his solar panels? He was supposed to be making, I mean, this was fucking 10 years ago now, but like when he first started
Yeah.
that whole project, he was supposed to be making solar panels that were
They were going to be
thin
like,
and
they were going
wicked
to be
cheap.
like, I remember this. There were going to be like roof tiles that
Yeah.
were solar panels, but
And
that
they're-
actually functioned as roof tiles.
and super cheap.
Never fucking materialized.
Nothing
The guy's
happened.
a fucking giant liar.
He's a grifter.
Okay, I'm swearing so much.
Yeah, why don't you
Please
calm down?
forgive me if I'm offending anybody with my potty
I
mouth.
really think it's time for you to
But
reel it in a little.
I love this this Twitter. I can't read this username. I'm so sorry. But this person said, we'll put it up on the screen if you edit this in. She says, y'all hate immigrants so much, but this Elon Musk character, he's a South African apartheid profiteer, cartoon fucking villain, and he is actively killing your tax-funded social programs and infrastructure development. Like, can we just admit what's going on right now? It's a giant grift, and we're anybody who doesn't have that has anything positive to say about him is just being fucking grifted.
Who was the Democrat that just won in
Scourge.
in the social what do they call them? What is it called? What do they call it? Social Democrats?
I think so.
Socialist Democrat?
Democratic Socialist?
Democratic Socialist?
Yes.
What's his name? His name is Abdul El Said.
Where is it?
In Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, let me pull this up actually. This is really dope. Progressive candidate will face Republican Mike Rogers in race to represent Midwestern Purple State in the Senate. Abdul El
the Senate?
Said, won the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate
Oh, shit.
in Michigan, becoming the latest left-wing candidate to capture the party's nomination ahead of the November midterm elections.
Oh, that's cool.
El Said, a progressive, beat Haley Stevens, a moderate U.S. representative backed by the party's establishment. So it's another anti-establishment Democrat.
Hell yeah.
And if you haven't, look up what Mom Danny is doing in New York.
Do you struggle with his name?
I do. It's the M and the N is just a mess for me.
His first name is Zoran.
I would like him to change both of those names for my benefit. Anyway, he's doing things for New York that New York has never seen, and I think there's an energy in New York that's, I don't know. I mean, it just feels as though there's something really happening in New York from here, Georgia. But
Well, no, they're actually, it's interesting. They're making a documentary about the work that he's done to try and get tenants' rights prioritized. So they went, Mamdani was going door to door and like surveying. He brought a bunch of experts with him. He had like a whole crew of like a dozen experts in tow, and he would go to all of these rental housing units where people had been complaining about their landlord who was breaking code. So he brought all these code enforcement people, and they like went and assessed.
yeah, it was amazing.
I know, and he got the problem fixed like within a fucking week.
It's like
And
the
like
mayor's in the house.
Yeah, it's dope. He's like
Fix this
finally
shit.
prioritizing the working class, the people who are renting. Those are the people that make the city thrive. So why wouldn't you prioritize them? I mean, what else is the fucking job of the mayor?
Yeah, so this guy El Said, he's a progressive. He beat Haley Stevens. He succeeded by relatively close margin, they delivered the what do they call them? Michigan voters
Michiganders is what they
Michiganders.
call it, which
I was going to say
is-
Michiganders delivered victories for both for other progressive candidates, nominating climate activist William Lawrence and Donovan McKinney, a member of the Democratic Socialist of America, both of whom are backed by Bernie Sanders in their bids for seats in the House of Representatives. So I don't know what this means, and I don't know what this means in terms of voters. And of course, they're all over El Sayed, right? Like on the right, because his name is El Sayed. So yeah, they're gonna the America is being invaded.
You could
by
pronounce,
sensible people.
You could pronounce Schwarzenegger, okay? Don't give me this shit that you've got a problem with an ethnic last name.
Well, they have other ethnic last names like Ted Cruz and everybody. They all changed their names.
Yeah.
Like, what's Ted Cruz's real name?
I can't remember.
Let's see. What is Ted Cruz's real name? That fucking coward. What is Ted Cruz's
It's not
real
Ted.
name? His real name is Rafael.
Rafael Cruz?
His real name is Rafael, middle name Edward Cruz. Rafael Edward. Senator Rafael Cruz would never happen in the state of Texas.
Yeah,
So
but
he
he's talking
changed
about
his name
middle
to
name.
Ted.
I thought it was worse than that. I thought it was like a full-on...
Edward?
Yeah.
It's like Edward is probably like, whatever. Like my parents named me after a grocer who gave them credit. I'm not even kidding.
Can I tell you about my conspiracy theory about Ted Cruz?
Sure. He's not a human.
Because now that this isn't the Too Real podcast anymore, I can tell you all this dumb shit.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think that he's an alien in a human suit.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really think that. Like, I don't actually believe that like aliens walk among us.
I do.
He's not like a lizard person or anything.
I believe
But,
in the
like,
possibility.
But if they told us that there were people in government that were like actually walking around in ill-fitted human suits, I'd be like, oh, Ted Cruz, absolutely.
That guy looks uncomfortable in his shit.
He looks like he's not wearing the skin right.
At all. Not at all.
Is that body shaming? Am I body shaming Ted Cruz? I mean, not that I care, because fuck that guy, but
No, because there are people who
he's a
are
fucking crook. I don't care.
there are people who are not, who are similar to him body type wise, but they're
Yeah, I'm
like,
sure they're very wonderful people.
and they fit in their suit. Because like people who fit in their suit, like there's like these people who are just like they're so comfortable. It's got to make everybody who's not comfortable wildly jealous because they're just so damn comfortable in their own body that like I'm trying to think of, there's this one guy who I can't remember what his name was, but this guy was huge, and I mean huge. He had like his beer belly started at his chin, you know what I mean? And
I feel like that sometimes.
this guy fucking would just bust out he'd get a shirt off as fast as he could. In any instant that he could get his shirt off, that shirt was off. And there was nothing appealing about his like purple veiny body, but he was like as smooth as anybody, and nobody noticed because the way he carried it. He owned every inch of his body.
He embodied his skin suit.
Yeah, exactly. He like was very comfortable in it, and so it fit, and everybody was cool, and it kind of like worked in that way.
This is actually the reason why I think that body dysmorphia is really relatable. I personally have not struggled with body dysmorphia, but when you think about the concept of we are all just like we're all just driving these automatons. Like every single one of us is just like a brain that's like powering a skin suit. Like we're all just like big like bags of flesh with like joints, Like we're all just kind of trying to like motor around on our skeletons. It just doesn't seem very strange to me that you would have body dysmorphia when you're like, what is a body anyway?
Yeah.
Like, what does it even mean? What are we even supposed to do with it? Like, we're not our bodies, obviously.
They're weird. We kind of hate them.
They're super weird.
We fall down and hurt and break them all the time. We're fucking.
I know. I hate it when they do weird shit too, and you're like, oh, fuck. Now I gotta like consult the manual about how my fucking stupid mortal, what is it? My corpus works.
People are like, if you eat better, you'll have better skin, and you're like, shut up.
Yeah, I know.
You fucking stuffed the Doritos. I got one last story, which is Christopher Nolan explains that the real problem with criticism today is that that I guess essentially that people or viewers, I should say, tend to invalidate storytelling mechanics, but just because they can identify them. So he thinks that the problem with criticisms is that because you notice what plot points are where, I guess.
Yeah, he's like, they exist because I mean, plot points exist, and so just because you can identify them, you feel like I've done them wrong. But he's like, everybody does that. Like, what would the story be if it didn't have plot points?
His quote is, this criticism that's often leveled at movies in general is, oh, the character has to be made sympathetic, so the character is manipulated in different ways or changed in different ways. And that's a fundamental flaw of film criticism in a way, Nolan said, because to be able to identify the mechanism does not invalidate the mechanism. And that's a real problem in criticism today. And I would say that, well, there's some truth to that.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
There is some truth to that, and I wouldn't argue with it. I'd also say that the best writing in the world, or the kind of writing that I would tend to expect from the most prolific filmmakers and screenwriters and novelists and writers of our time, is that I would expect them to be able to weave these kinds of instruments in and out of their work without so much as me noticing.
Right. Like, is he kind of like dismissing criticism as this, like, oh, see, you pointed out that I do a thing.
Well, I wonder if, and I can't,
when really the criticism is that he did the thing poorly,
right?
Or
So,
that he did the thing like ham-fisted, like it's in your face instead of subtextual. You know?
I think it's less like in your face and as much, I think more, and I wonder, well, let me say it this way. I wonder if some of these writers or critics are seeing something very formulaic, because there's one thing to be able to like follow, a paradigm, a writing paradigm, or to use a writing paradigm as a means to sort of build the sort of, the spine and the rib cage of your piece. And then it's another thing to sort of hit the points like dead on, like exactly as explained in the writing, how to write a book, the art of dramatic structure or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, one of the things about like if you can play leads by playing successive notes in a scale.
You're talking about the guitar?
In guitar or in any instrument,
okay.
You can play a lead by playing successive notes in a scale. And chronologically, you can play a lead and it'll sound good by hanging on and doing bends and then going back again and then going forward. But just, by doing these kinds of things, you can create a lead. But most musicians and even a lot of people who listen to music are going to recognize the rudimentary approach to what is ultimately correct. So is he talking about doing something that's, is his work rudimentary and that's what's being noticed?
This is interesting. I haven't seen The Odyssey, but I've seen a few of Christopher Nolan's movies. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be one of the criticisms that somebody had online about The Odyssey was in response to one of the press tour, like one of those press junkets where the actors are all sitting together and they're talking to the interviewer, the reporter or whatever. And they were saying that they loved working for Christopher Nolan because he lets the actors just do what they're doing. Like, he doesn't really direct them. And the guy was like, this is it. Like, I noticed this completely. There's a lack of cohesion among all of the actors and all the actors' performances because Chris Nolan is kind of hands off about that shit.
There's a lack of direction.
Yeah. And so the actors thought it was fucking dope because they got to just like interpret themselves, but they're not able to cohere with their other actors and their other actors' performances in the way that a director would help them do, Well,
there's also like, if you don't sort of sink it into what is the ultimate visionary or the person controlling the vision of the movie or the piece, it's a little hard to know whether or not they're going to get, as the filmmaker, they're going to get what you are delivering.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
From a subtextual point of view or whatever.
Yeah, it was just so interesting that this person was like, this is it. This is what I've been seeing that I've like haven't been able to put my finger on why it bugs me that his actors all seem to be doing different shit.
I just think it was like, I'm not necessarily going to accuse like, Christopher Nolan and, one of the most successful directors of our time. Some people think the most successful director of our time to be like, whatever, misinterpreting criticism. But I'm just wondering, like, are you sure they're not saying, hey, when I can pick it out so easily, maybe, because this is my criticism of James Cameron's writing ultimately. James Cameron writing to me is like, he knows exactly, like he can draw the graph, the paradigm. Yeah. He can put the paradigm on paper. He can right at a
No,
slant.
you're watching his storyboard. You know
Yes.
what I mean? It's like, it's
Yes.
so obvious.
And I just think like that's a fair criticism against the filmmaker, because it's like, hey, bro, you're really talented, except that your storytelling is rudimentary and I can pick it out.
So what do you think the solution for that is? Do you think that these people need to like do a few more drafts to sort of like sync all that together, like to sort of meld it all?
I don't know.
It needs to be like, it needs to marinate in the sauce a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that there's like, film is this incredibly beautiful medium that allows you to sort of really have this like vast and expansive sort of almost menu or palette of creation and ultimately effect on viewers. And so like I feel like guys like Chris Nolan might be and James Cameron are these like exquisite filmmakers where their weakness is in story, but where they're if somebody came in and kind of stepped in and wrote with them, that it might end up being a situation where they lose something on the filmmaking side, because I think these guys see such cohesive ideas in terms of the film, the image, the tension, the moment, the movement, and so they're able to sort of so their weakness isn't enough to topple them, right? Like this guy is massively successful, so I don't think he has to change anything. Is I guess the short answer is don't fucking change a thing. You're the most successful director of all time.
Yeah, right.
But also accept the fact that maybe there's nothing perfect about you either.
I love this discussion about the Odyssey and Christopher Nolan's filmmaking from somebody who's actually trying to engage with the work, as opposed to, there's been a lot of discussion online from like absolute idiots that don't know anything about the story, about the Odyssey, the history of the story, and how like what historically it was supposed to represent, and how it's supposed to just be like a big mishmash of like total mythology and some history and some of this shit and some of that.
Yeah.
A lot of the rhetoric about this movie has been completely overshadowed by idiots like Elon Musk.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so Elon Musk. This is from Rolling Stone, July 22nd. Elon Musk continues to rage over Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which defied online hysteria from the right and broke box office records in its first day in theaters. Apparently, Elon Musk thought it was historically inaccurate. And everybody online was talking about how Helen of Troy shouldn't have been cast as a black woman, when like the real Helen of Troy was born from an egg.
Yeah.
Because she was fathered by Zeus in his swan disguise. And like, none of these people are real. None of this fucking actually matters. Not to mention, the entire story was taking place in the Mediterranean, where there's like bordering a bunch of nations with a bunch of different races. Like, so it's just so stupid. I love this person's criticism of Elon Musk's dumb shit about the Odyssey. He says, Chase Mitchell on Twitter said, Elon Musk just has a hard time wrapping his head around a story where a man's wife and child's care if he comes home.
Yeah. He
wouldn't know what that's like. So of course it upsets him.
Well, F that guy all the way.
Sick burn.
All that guy ever delivers to me, in my opinion, is stupidity upon stupidity and offensive this and offensive that.
Yeah, of course, he's a child.
I don't think he does anything to actually contribute to humankind.
I know, I'm so sick of it. He's like a fucking preteen boy. Like, who gives a fuck what this guy says? But he's
dangerous is what he is.
My only point for bringing that up was because like that burn was pretty funny. But also, and I think Elon Musk is annoying no matter what he does. But I just love that that you found some people actually engaging in critical analysis with Christopher Nolan's work, and that Christopher Nolan spoke to it, and then the person's like, no, not exactly right. Like, I just love, that's my preferred way to engage in films and stuff, is just to sort of, it's fun to be a critic. I don't see any harm in it, It's not like I'm changing anybody's opinion about anything anyway.
No, I mean, I think we're innately critical. We're going to be innately critical because we have taste. When something is appalling, we're going to be appalled, and when something is really funny, we're going to laugh, and when something is, disgusting, we're going to turn our heads. And
I think it's just a richer way of engaging with artistic material.
And look, when you go and you see a movie, I think it is too. I think when you go and see a movie, or you go see a installation, or you go listen to a band, or whatever it might be, especially if if the artist has a reputation that or you have a certain amount of reverence for the artist, you're going there with an expectation. You don't go to a Christopher Nolan movie without an expectation. Yeah, same for James Cameron, all the well-known artists in the world. So if you're going in with an expectation and that expectation isn't met, there's going to be a criticism, and a lot of mental health issues among the famous creatives is because of that pressure that comes with the expectations of their great work.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why like a lot of second films can really fall when the first films like I said about Obsession, I was like, look at the what are they called? The Duffer Brothers?
Yeah.
You know, their show got canceled. Their next show is just like, it's over.
I really like your perspective about art and artistry and like the process. You're like, you have to sort of like give birth to this baby and then let it go out into the world and be its own thing.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you're done with it, I think people
you got to protect it too. Like if somebody's beating your child,
right? Of course, but like
Don's Plum.
Yeah.
You got to protect it.
I mean, if it's allowed to live, if it's allowed to exist on its own merits, unlike Don's Plum was allowed to live.
Right. I had to fight for that one, but normally. Under normal circumstances,
yes.
Fly be free.
Under non-Tobey Maguire circumstances,
correct.
You're allowed to, your artwork just goes out and it's allowed to exist and be its own thing.
Yep.
And I think that if people had that attitude more about the work that they create, they would be able to endure criticism a lot better, a lot more maturely, because you got to have a separation. I really like that you do that. I mean, I'm personally not much of a creator myself, but I would hope to be that mature about it if I was.
I mean, it's sort of like, to me, there's no choice. It's the way it is. Because you're, like I said about the director of Small Group, when he asked me what I felt like, how I felt about the movie, and I said, it's a good movie. And then his response was, I really wanted you to say it was a great movie, or I really wanted it to be a great movie. And I said, you don't get to decide that, dude. Yeah. Like, I was like, what you don't understand is you make the best movie you can, and then you give it to the world, and the world gets to decide what it is. Yeah. And you have to live with that decision. And you can defend it, or you can try to find a more suitable audience for it, or whatever. But in the end, the popularity of something is because the people decided to accept it or not. And it doesn't matter how much advertising you put into it, because like sometimes, yes, the popularity is surrounding its failure, see the room.
But man, if you're really about that fucking creative life, you're just gonna like nose to the grindstone, make the next thing, right? Like forget about that. Forget about that last thing. Now make the next thing.
It's the only way. Speaking of the next thing,
if you're a real thug, like you gotta be. Yeah,
right. So we had some fun. Some people came and hung out with us, like Cosmic Urgency. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good to see him again. He was kind of dickish as usual.
I like that
so
though.
Appreciate that from him. Every time. I wish Conley DiCaprio was here so she could, revel in his dickishness, because she finds him entertaining, and so do I. Deanne said that Perez is, by the way, apologizing to Brittany, so that makes it all better. That's good. I'm glad. I'm so glad. I'm sure Brittany feels better about it. I thought she was. I thought my understanding was that Brittany was like rah Perez.
Oh, I have no idea. I can't imagine. He was so abusive to her.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
Even
Archival Raccoon wants to know: are the astrology videos and the streams still in the works?
We are going to continue with astrology streaming. Yes.
There has been so much happening.
It's
and like
a lot.
next week, like I have to take my dog in for surgery. It's like, I'm doing a bunch of shit. It's really awful. What I want.
Yeah, we launched fountainheadastrology.com.
Are the astrology video streams still in the works? Very much.
Yes.
Yes. Everything is just kind of moving a little bit slowly right now, but everything is in progress. I really do want to return to that as soon as possible. I really wish everything would just kind of like mellow out so that I could focus on that. But it's like, it's nobody's fault. Like nothing, it can't be helped, Yes, very much. I have very big ambitions for these astrology videos and for the streams still in the works.
Great. Yeah, I totally agree. It's coming. Mm-hmm. So thank you for your patience. It's just, it's interesting because like, you don't know this because you guys don't see this, but like that episode 1, I cut like 30 minutes out of that episode. So I'm working all day and I don't have my speed yet, I got to get back up to speed, and that takes a minute.
Fine. All this is all how the sausage is made.
Yeah, so we're just working through all the amount of content we're creating, which is quite a bit. I also want to write another damn screenplay, which I'm negotiating right now, or I shouldn't even say the word negotiating. I want to write the screenplay right now, and I'm just trying to create an opportunity for it to be facilitated because I can't afford to write it on my own. All right. Cosmic Concerned Citizen was here today.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? Always love when they're by.
Oh, Deanne just dropped this link. What is this?
What do you got? Oh, I see it.
Perez Hilton has expressed deep regret for stirring panic and fear in Hollywood celebrities. He reached out to Britney Spears and Neil Patrick Harris to make amends before. Oh, this dropped 1 hour ago. I'm gonna look at this.
By the way,
see what I mean? He's like, oh, everybody's talking about me in the news, just like I want.
He's
what
everywhere.
What is up with this dude?
Nah, dude, this is to me.
I don't trust anything he does.
No.
Was it a stunt? Is he a fucking lunatic? Like, I don't understand.
He dissed us.
Who?
Perez Hilton. When the Don Splum shit went down.
What do you mean us?
Me and RD,
for
the
Don
filmmakers
Splum.
of Don Splum.
Yeah. Well, of course.
He painted us as like these leeches.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
He painted us as leeches. We fucking actually made the movie, wrote the movie, and he painted us as leeches. But that's not why I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of him for reasons that I think are fairly apparent in his own behavior. You know what I mean?
Anywho, are we gonna call it?
Fuck that guy. You guys are the best. We're gonna be back on Monday. Episode 2 is going to be dropping soon.
I love seeing everybody.
By the way, am also releasing these on all kinds of podcast platforms, so you can now get the show in audio form only if you prefer. Because I'm not what I used to be.
You're beautiful.
I'm not what I used to be.
You have really, especially your eyes.
You're just in love.
So you've been wearing this hat. I don't like the hat so much because then people can't see the light in your eyes.
Well, the problem is that I've been battling headaches, and this helps.
Yeah.
Because it's bright in here.
We always do this like prolonged goodbye. It's like 20 minutes.
We don't want to say
long.
goodbye. I know.
I don't. Just want to hang out.
I like you a lot. I hope you like us back. We'll be back on Monday with more stories. Hopefully, it won't be stories about Perez Hilton. Good night, you guys.
Good night.